misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat Earth in its place.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night. I'm your host MCToon on this great Thursday night. I hope you're ready. You will need to be very cautious while watching this. I'm giving you a warning right now. The people on the panel, not the people coming in to debate, the people that are the regulars on the panel, they are very practiced in what they do. They assemble multiple times per day. And every time they assemble, they have a competition amongst themselves to see who can be the wrongest. And they've got years of experience in this. And it can blow your mind sometimes at how wrong they can be. So this is where we will be looking at a debate. So I'll give you the history here. Will Duffy, a year and a half ago, announced that he's going to do the final experiment. That will be to bring flat earthers to test the thing that flat earthers have been saying for 175 years about Antarctica. Something that was a linchpin, if you would, about the shape of the earth. They thought that certainly it would be impossible on a disk with the sun and moon circling around it to go to the outside perimeter of that disk. They think the earth is this disk. Some think that there's more beyond the disk and some don't. Doesn't matter. They were in agreement with very few exceptions that the earth was a disk and that Antarctica is a ring around the outside holding in the waters of the earth. So if you were to go to that place and look at the sun, you would not see the sun do circles around you. It could not happen because the sun was doing circles around the North Pole. And here you are out at the southern edge. Certainly the sun would only ever be seen toward the north. You would never be south of you. And certainly it could never be up 24 hours a day. This was flat earthers' position for 175 years with just a couple exceptions. And so Will Duffy said, I will test this. Certainly they will love to test the thing that they've been saying all this time. Won't they? Turns out it was a bit challenging to get them to go. Several of them were offered free trips, the trip of a lifetime, to go to Antarctica to see this. And they turned down a free trip to go, including Eric Dubay, Nathan Oakley, Dean Odell. Who else? Who else turned it down? A few others. It doesn't really matter. There, nobody really. If you are so invested in your cult belief system that you won't go test it, that you're scared to go test it, you are a nobody. So flat earthers that declined it are nobodies. 4 did wind up accepting. 4 Globers went along with Will. I was one of them. It was a fantastic trip. We saw the sun doing circles 24 hours a day, going the opposite direction as is seen in the northern hemisphere at the northern in June. In June at near the North Pole. So, oh yeah, Dave Weiss, because remember, you're not stupid. Dearth is stupid. Dave Weiss is Dearth. He's stupid, and he turned it down. He turned it down. Why did he turn it down? Because he knew that if he went and saw the 24-hour sun, then the gig would be up. No more grifting. It would disprove his entire religion. So, Will did this. We did a bunch of experiments while we were down there. We planned out about 16 or 17 of them. Will highlighted 12 of these experiments. And then once he finished highlighting them, he announced that he was going to be doing a final debate. And then after that, he was going to step away from this arena. So he did the final debate, invited every single flat earther to come, including specifically 24 flat earthers. He was going to do a donation of $250 for everybody that came, $500 for each of the 24 that were specifically named to come. He's going to donate to Stop Human Trafficking, a charity that would stop human trafficking. If every one of the 24 flat earthers came in, that would be $12,000 donated to the charity. In fact, it was significantly less than that. 0 of them, in fact, was the number. 0 of the 24 showed up. A handful of other flat earthers that were, 5th and 6th string flat earthers did show up. And Roger Ledwell did not show up. It's important to note that Roger Ledwell did not show up. A couple days later, Will did his farewell stream where he announced this was it. After this, he wasn't going to be actively participating in the arena anymore. So it was known that he wasn't going to be doing that. Onto this farewell stream came one Roger Ledwell. And in this stream, Roger Ledwell, while having his grandchildren scream in the background, it was almost impossible to understand a word this guy said. He invited Will Duffy to come participate in a copycat debate, copycatting the debate that Will had just had that Roger didn't show up to, after the time when Will had said he wasn't going to be doing any more engagement in this arena anymore. What a thing, huh? So nothing quite like inviting somebody to debate once they've said they won't be debating. That's a sure way to not have them debate. Brenda Creates says, Toon, if I pay you, will you tell me who put you up to debunking flirfs? Yes. And Brenda did that for a $5 super chat. So is that the payment, or is that just a question? Or I don't know. What? Maybe you'll have to pay. I'm kidding. Who put me up to debunking flirfs? It was something I just decided to do. Anyway, so but Will did say that other people might come in his stead. And if it weren't for that, and then I announced it on both of my YouTube channels, on Discord and on Facebook, for everybody to come in, including one Brenda. Brenda was the first one in line. We'll be reviewing Brenda's portion of it shortly here. So Reds and Astronomy Live, was Astronomy Live there? And the Drunk Debunk Show did a live stream last night of Saturn and the ISS. Pretty cool. I didn't get to see it yet. I was busy last night doing other stuff. So anyway, so where was I? I was explaining that people did show up. I was very busy on that day. It's Labor Day. And I was doing things with family, doing stuff around the house. I was totally swamped. But what I did do is while I popped in, I didn't have much time. I was listening while I was doing some stuff. I had an earbud in going, and I was just working around the house at the moment. So, and then I was able to pop in. So I will be playing the stream, and we will be seeing my comments in the live chat, won't we? Because I was commenting in the live chat. Certainly you will be seeing my comments in the live chat. So the debate, the video on Roger Ledwell's channel is called, you'd think that he'd have something in the name like debate, but instead he had, "This is it, make no mistake where you are, ... That is the name of the stream where he hosted this debate, and here's the thumbnail for that debate. So obviously this was where he was hosting the debate because he made it so clear. Here it is right here. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. That's the name of the debate. So I figured this out. I kind of guessed. and this is what I linked to. So if it wasn't for my post, because and I don't know if others did too, but I only know of mine. I don't think anybody would have known about it, because he's not quite bright enough to figure out how to name a debate live stream. What you do, just for a hint, you put debate somewhere with that word in the title, and maybe you have as the, in the thumbnail, not just a lighthouse, but, maybe a, debate, the word debate on the screen. Anyway, so this is it here. For some reason, he has he said a panel of people and a moderator. So I don't know why he needed a panel, but it is cute that he needs, he needs somebody to hold his tallywhacker while he passes water. Anyway, so yes, David Webb, everyone's a mod almost. David Webb, who are you? Maybe you want to be a mod. Basically, if I've seen you around for a long time, you're a mod. You can think of me as the Oprah of handing out wrenches. So anyway, we're going to watch this. I do participate in this. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but we're going to start here. You can see over on the right below me here, this is where the live chat is. So there you go. Raspberry says, have you considered a lighthouse is the second sun? No, it's not.
It's involved in this, I guess. I'm not going to be as hard as Duffy was, and like, if you come in to present, I'm not going to let you present anything.
That Duffy didn't stop people from presenting. Duffy had, in case you weren't there, Duffy had a format. He said, first of all, introduce yourself, then Will would ask you a question, a stumper question. Fair thing. I was hoping that he was going to do that to us, but he didn't. And that not Will, but that Roger, who's on the left there, who for some reason in his own big debate didn't even turn on his camera. Instead, the Wookiee did. Good thing for the Wookiee. And Whatcast, the channel Whatcast. Go subscribe to Whatcast. Can somebody link Whatcast? Whatcast calls him a Wookiee. So good there. Kays says it's more of a privilege to not be given a mod at this point. And there you go. There's your mod. Anyway, so all right, here we go. Oh yeah, so Will asked a stumper question, then it was their chance to present, and they could present their screen, evidence for the Earth being flat without mentioning the globe. A very reasonable thing, because you do not establish what something is by talking about what it is not, right? What is the shape of the Earth? Well, you'd have to talk about what you think it is. You'd have to have evidence for what it is. Flat earthers never do that. They never do that. And so that's why it was a genius thing for Will to ask, because of course they can't. And then number 3, Will was going to ask them to respond to specifically one of the 12 experiments that we did on the trip and explain how it works on flat Earth. None of them could handle these 3 things. Basically, none of them did. Maybe one did. Maybe one tried. It was embarrassing for flat Earth. What an embarrassing time. Anyway, so what is Roger's format? He I don't know.
That's about it. I have a few questions I want people to answer too in regards to it.
He didn't ask any.
They're trying to overwhelm me here. I got 91 people viewing right now.
That's probably the most he'd ever have in a live stream.
Isn't that amazing? When I get on average, 30?
Yep.
And I think Rachel's here, isn't she? I thought
I haven't really paid too much attention to the chat. Plus, it's going pretty fast. But
yeah, I know it's gone way too fast. I don't even have enough room on my screen here to get all the chats that have been put in the last 10 minutes, let alone anything else.
But I'd just say everybody use proper decorum. When you come up to debate, no ad homs, stuff like that. We all know how this works.
Yeah.
I'm here to be seen and not heard, but I'll jump in if I have to. Other than that, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, and if you start ad homing any of my mods, they will take care of you.
And I won't be in chat, so you ain't got nothing to worry about with me in chat.
Then I'm not going to pay attention to the chat. That's what the mods are going to do. So mind your manners out there. And I'll drop a link. You guys, no fighting over it, but the first 8 to come in, everybody's going to step down to like Craig and MCToon.
But by mods, he mean in the chat, it means they're going to ban you.
Come in first, I'm sure. This is Duffy's killing the flat Earth by going after me. That's one. All right, let me get a link out.
Okay, so yeah, no ad homing, everybody, right? Certainly, his mods are going to be doing that, right? Not ad homing.
And I'm going to make sure you're real before you get to come on screen. You got to verify yourself. I don't want anybody putting anything on screen to get me kicked off. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, don't do anything dumb.
Yeah. And here goes the link.
All right.
Brenda. How are you? I know Brenda.
All right.
That's a safe one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brenda. How are you?
How are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
Brenda is in our live chat right now.
Oh, wonderful.
How's the fundraiser coming for your trip?
Well, it's around $5,000 now, a little more.
A little more. So let's check out here. GoFundMe. Where is his fundraising right now? So you'd think he'd know. He should have a pretty good idea. So let's see here. A little more than $5,000, he said. Well, here is his fundraiser. Go away. Do not sell. There it is. This to him is a little more than $5,000. So he not math good.
You're gonna need more than that, hon.
Well,
So, yeah, and by the way, he has an $8,000 goal. $8,000 goal. The trip that I took was $32,000 just to ALE, plus you need extra stuff.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I know you know. I know you know.
Yeah. I'm not going to add more than one person to the stream at a time. You're going to have to wait.
Okay, what are all the rules?
The rules are you get 10 minutes to present a case for the globe Earth.
Okay. And
No
so
ad
how do I? Oh,
You know how to
share
share?
screen. Share screen.
No
Yes.
ad homs. Stay on
Yeah.
topic. You know how this
Yeah.
works, Brendan.
Let me see. There we go. Allow. And there we go. Do you see this? Do you see the ships?
Yeah, I'm well aware of those. What about them?
Yeah.
I'm starting your 10 minutes real quick, just so you know. Go
Okay.
ahead, Dub.
Go ahead. You present. You explain why this is proof for a globe Earth, and then after your 10 minutes, I'll rebuttal.
This is evidence for the curvature. The horizon is blocking our view to the lower part of that container ship. We cannot see the hull because the Earth, and by the Earth I mean including the ocean, is in the way, right? So the ship, the container ship, distant, is being blocked by the horizon. The one that is closer to us is in fact closer than the horizon and is not being blocked. Here's another photograph. This one shows two views, one at 2 feet above sea level, the other at 6 feet above level. Long and lat are defined, right? And the amount,
So we get a big
Yes.
barrel here. There you go.
yeah, long and lat are given. They're the same, and the time, right? And you can see that simply standing up off of the beach, going from 2 feet to 6 feet, which is what this person did, reveals more of the ship, which is a prediction of the globe. So this is evidence in favor of a globe.
I
Okay?
gotcha.
That's basically my evidence.
That's your whole presentation right
There's another very famous one, right? It's showing the hull of the sailboat being obstructed by the curvature of the Earth.
Love this one here.
Right? We can only see the sails. No amount of zoom will ever bring the hull back. Right? We can only see the sails, and we don't see hardly any refraction at all, if any. If there is any refraction, it is minuscule. There very likely is some, but it is, again, minuscule. You see a hard line for the horizon.
It's actually better than that, Brenda. In this photo, you can see the waves at the peak of the curve. Right at the peak of the curve, you can see the waves. So the refraction is so minor that you don't have miraging it or anything like that. You can see the wave right here, and then there's little bumps of waves in front of the ship. So none of this is miraging, none of this is refraction that's happening or any of that kind of stuff. This is absolute killer.
Right? So the conditions are not ones of high refraction. They are ones of low refraction. And in that case, since we've eliminated that variable, we can see the other variable, which is the curvature of the Earth.
That's the other variable. Yeah.
Right. The amount that is hidden or obstructed varies depending on the height of the observer.
Nice. I guess that's a good presentation. And did you get the tides for these times and any weather conditions you could present to go with this?
This is amazing. Did you get tides and weather for this? Now, this isn't about how far away it is, right? If you're going to try to predict the amount hidden, you would need to know how far away you are and how high above the surface you are. But tides doesn't do anything because tides aren't a big roll for it's not like a wave in over the course of the 4, 5, 6 miles that this was. It's a wave in a sense, sort of in hundreds of miles large. It takes 6 hours, about 5 to 6 hours for the tide to come in. So it's a change of multiple feet over multiple hours. So it's a very nominal amount of time. So the water from the observer to the distant, to the ship is the same elevation. It's the same elevation minus the waves. And those waves are just a couple feet at most. So already they're starting with the cope.
No, tides would have no effect.
They wouldn't.
Huh. No, because the ships float on the water regardless of how deep it is.
So real quick, are you done with your presentation? Are we doing the back and forth?
I don't. Yeah, we can go to back and forth if you like.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I think this is the most powerful because it is the most common for flat earthers to claim that perspective is what hides objects. But
we see Liz K. Turd Ferguson said to Liz K. makes sense. But Liz K isn't there. Look at that. There it is. Oh, yes, the ad homs and insult must be allowed if the mods are doing them. Okay. Let's see. Right there, we've got Ryan S. doing the ad hom. He's a mod. What kind of double standard is that? Who would think that a flat earther would have a double standard? So apparently, I don't think that... I don't know why. Let's see. The Drunk Debunk said, wow, Liz K got booted. Didn't get booted, but might have gotten timed out or a comment deleted, I suppose.
That is because flat earthers don't understand perspective. Perspective is not involved in any of those photographs.
Well, to the amount that the things that are farther away are smaller in angular size in the view, they are. But perspective doesn't cause things to be blocked. It just causes things to be smaller.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying there's other variables in there just besides perspective too.
Sure, but some flat earthers claim that perspective is what accounts for it.
It doesn't account for everything. There's foreshortening for one. That would
So foreshortening is a subset of perspective. Foreshortening is if you have something like, for example, laying on the surface, and you're above that surface and you're looking at that, then say there's a square on the surface. The side near you of that square is going to appear larger than the side farther away from you. That is an application of perspective, and we call it foreshortening. But again, foreshortening does not cause things to be obstructed. It does not cause things to disappear.
would be another cause of.
Yeah. Is that a rebuttal?
No, that's not necessarily a rebuttal. That's just another explanation to involved with tides. High tide, low tide toward the inland actually would cause basically a roll in the water. It would be hard to see over it.
Oh, we got Ryan S. With another ad hom here. Man, double standard going.
Yeah.
So
Any wake would actually affect the photograph due to foreshortening.
no, foreshortening will not obstruct objects.
I can get you some examples if you want me to.
What is foreshortening?
Ooh, what is foreshortening? I've already explained it. Let's hear if Roger explains it.
Foreshortening? Actually,
Yeah.
it's a lens effect, actually.
Oh my gosh, it's not a lens effect. It's not. A pinhole camera with no lens will still see foreshortening.
It's caused by, yeah, no, it is. The further objects are away from you, yes, it would definitely cause foreshortening.
That's not what foreshortening is. Foreshortening is if you are photographing me or looking at me and I reach my hand out towards you, my finger will appear bigger than my shoulder.
That's right. Same like the square example I had. The near part appears bigger than the far part. Good explanation.
When I'm talking about foreshortening there, I mean like the waves and the water that's in between you and it would appear larger than it actually is. Would it block your view?
No, because I am above the waves, so they could never block my view because
you're above a 30-foot wave out at sea.
Imagine a 30-foot wave. If those boats were there in 30-foot waves, what would be happening to those cargo ships in 30-foot waves? What would be happening to the people on the shore if there were 30-foot waves out as deep as where the ships are? Right? This is how stupid they are. Think about this. If there's waves that are 30 feet high near where the ships are, when those waves come into shore, what happens to waves when they get closer to shore? They get bigger because the vertical space from the top of the water to the bottom, to where the sand is or the bottom, it's less. So it's going to get bigger. So a 30-foot wave out deep is going to be more than 30 feet near. The person taking the picture would get washed away in that tsunami. Amazing. He actually said 30-foot wave. Oh, sorry. And I got to back it up because it wasn't playing.
You see 30-foot
Above a 30-foot wave out at sea at sea level.
Did you see 30-foot waves there?
No, I'm saying it's like even a 10-foot wave or so would actually
If there was a 10-foot wave, there would be surfers.
cause foreshortening. Yeah,
Even if it's 10 foot, the observer is
the foreshortening would actually get greater.
the observer is above the waves, so they can't block his view.
He's above all the waves.
Yes.
How high above sea level is he again?
The waves there are 2 or 3 feet tops, and the observer is more than 2 or 3 feet up, 6 feet or more.
Well, in the second photograph is 2 feet and 6 foot.
There you go.
He's 2 feet and 6 foot above sea level. You think that sea level the waves are not above sea level at any point in time?
So you can see that. I guess I'll share that again.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. You can see that the waves there are very small. They're not.
Oh yeah. The 10-foot wave. Imagine that sailboat in 10-foot waves. It would be a pretty rough day for that sailboat. Those people are standing on the sailboat. You don't stand on a sailboat very easily when there's 10 feet waves. You hold on for life.
10 feet tall. And the observer is clearly above the waves.
Let me read this here. From Kango 44 for 20 Kiwi bucks. Says, half the ship is hidden because of perspective, 30-foot waves, tides, weather fog, refraction, foreshortening, lens effect, Wednesdays, anything but the simple effing fact that the Earth is curved. Wankers. Yes.
The line formed by the horizon is not a wave. It's a horizon.
Okay. All right. I have observations from Pablo's dog on it on 30 different days in the same place. And
he didn't want to talk about the topic, does he? Let me read this. Brenda Creates says, I turned my nice dial to 11 for this. I didn't quite have a stock of nice when I got on. Kango 44 says, that's just for perspective. And Sailor Centrist upgraded their membership to Buzz Aldrin. Thank you so much for that.
Objects are occulted by the weather and the waves, and other days they're not.
By the weather. Well, there's no weather there, so that's not it.
Yeah, they can be, but that doesn't.
It's due to the water. That's not due to the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, if you're below the waves, right, then the wave would obstruct your view. But you're not below the waves here. You're above them, right? So the fact that and you could.
That's not Earth curvature, though. That's what I'm trying to point out. Like these are actual. These are in the same bay over a period of 30 days. I got pans from Pablo for 30 days straight.
That's some. Well, would you present your evidence then?
Oh, I can get Pablo's dog if you want me to.
He's. By the way, is he going to? Does anybody think he's going to?
Sure.
Well, this is about me presenting evidence for the globe Earth, right?
Are these taken on the same day, by the way?
Yes.
They are? Okay. In different times.
It's on screen. January 27, 2017, 3:23 and 36 seconds p.m. January 27, 2017, 3:32 and 42 seconds p.m. They're within a few seconds of each other. On the screen, you illiterate idiot.
Time. It gives the time. 3:32. 3:32.
Is that what you're going to go with now? Like,
it says 3:32:35 p.m. and 3.
Oh, Zesta is here. Zesta, remember my email address, mctoon@mctoon.net. I will stop this right now, and you can come on and present your evidence. Lacking that, Vicky treatment.
32:42 p.m. So it gives the time.
How did that curvature just pop up there in between there and there? That's what I wanted. It's more like water. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, the water curves. The water curves, Roger. In our model, the water curves.
How about
where did the curve go?
Do this real quick. How about I give you 2 more minutes on this topic, Brenda, and then Roger go with the rebuttal on it for 2 minutes.
They already are. Hey, a Wookiee. This mentally handicapped Wookiee. This is Brenda already finished the presentation. We're on to the open discussion portion of it. You already established that. Oh my gosh.
Stop the talking over each other.
It makes sense. Thanks, Cubby.
Yep. Go ahead, Brenda.
What? I'm showing you time, location, and observer height. And we clearly see, as predicted by the globe, that a change in observer's height will change the amount hidden of a distant object that is beyond the curve. And that's what we see. So the globe Earth makes a prediction, and this is evidence of that prediction. It's fulfilling the prediction. Okay.
Are you done? You still got a minute and a half.
Well, I don't know what else to tell you.
So this is so like educational about the broken mind of a flat earther. when you're doing an experiment to try to figure something out, right? You have a hypothesis, right? And the hypothesis then you use to create a prediction. And it's even better if that prediction is quantitative. It's better if you can have a quantitative prediction to it. That means there's a number, a magnitude, an amount to the prediction. And then, right, that's better. It's a better experiment if you can do that, because it's more concrete. If it's just qualitative, if it's this is what we should see, or this is what thing we expect, that's not quite as good. It's still great, right? You can still do stuff and figure things out and falsify things with that. But it's better if you can be quantitative. You can put a number to it. So we can do that with the globe. We can say if something is 10 miles away and over the surface of water, and if the air temperature conditions are this, then over 10 miles, there should be a certain specific amount of blockage due to the curving surface. You need to take into account, though, all of the important variables. And so if you can take into account the vertical temperature gradient, or maybe you can look at normal previously measured conditions that are similar, say, well, at this time where this particular condition was measured. So say you're looking over water and the water was colder than the air, and it was overcast. Well, then this happens. This was the measured effect. Or everything the same except it wasn't overcast, it was sunny. Okay, well then here's the conditions slightly different. You can look at those, and people have cataloged these different effects over time and measured them and put numbers to them. So we can look across water and we can say, well, the water temperature is colder than the air is this, and we can say, well, it's a coefficient of refraction of plus 0.5. That's a normal condition for sunny day, cold water, warm air. That's a measured amount of coefficient of refraction. Normal thing, right? So you can do that. And then you say, okay, so at 10 miles, this is how much we expect with that coefficient of refraction to be blocked bottom up. Awesome. We can make a quantitative prediction. Now, there is no flat earther that has ever done this. There is no flat earther in all of history, in all 175 years of flat earthers that have been flirting. There has been no flat earther that has said, here is how you can predict the amount of bottom-up obstruction for flat earth. They've never done that. They've had word salad. That's all they've had. The ways that they can fool gullible people who don't have a background in the topic by using big fancy words, right? Samuel Rowbottom started it, and since then, charlatans have been, in a constant parade of charlataning to make up nonsense about what might cause a flat surface to appear to be between you and a distant object. So Zesta, let me make it clear here, Zesta. Zesta says, echo chamber here. Apparently all you GE here can't defend your globe from 1 FE and condition is applied. Oh, no. It's quite the opposite. Zesta, 100% the opposite of what you just said. I am not giving an invitation to any of these people here. None of these people have an invitation to interrupt me, to interrupt my schedule, to interrupt my plans, to have me set it all aside and listen to them talk about, present things. But you do, Zesta. You are the one of this whole group of people here. All these people here, not invited. One person is. Zesta is invited to not just type. You're not just typey-type. No. Better yet, I'm moving you. You get front row. You can come on right now you can present your super woke flat earth evidence right here. You can share screen and you can put the amazing truths that you have right here. You just plop it right up in here. You could be the one in the first one in 175 years that could quantify the bottom-up obstruction over flat Earth. You could be the one. What is the formula? Applying the laws of physics and the laws of optics that explains how a flat surface can get between an observer and an object. You could be the one. This is your invitation to only you, Zesta. Email mctoon@mctoon.net and you can be the one. Front row, not just front. You get the stage. See, that's way better than just typey type. So much better than that. But maybe you're just chicken. Maybe you know that you don't have anything, and you need to hide behind that little veil there that you're hiding behind. So you just typey type and be safe, right? Because you know you don't have anything. If you did, hey, you'd pop in, right? And you'll notice this in this debate that we're reviewing here. Brenda popped in, Max popped in, Astrocade popped in, FTFE popped in, Astronomy Live popped in, Luca popped in, I popped in. But you know who didn't pop in today, right now? Who didn't send me an email right now? Zesta didn't send me an email right now. Nope, Zesta didn't. All right, anyway. 175 years, no flat earthers have ever quantified the bottom-up obstruction. Never once. So anyway, this particular observation is a... You going to bed? Okay, good night. Sleep well. This particular... I should be more quiet because our bedroom's right up there. This particular observation is a qualitative one. So what we can do the same thing. We can say... we can make two hypotheses. If hypothesis Earth is a globe, and then what we got to compute the consequences for that. What are the consequences? Well, at some point, when looking over the surface of water, there will be a bottom-up obstruction, and you can reduce the bottom-up obstruction by increasing your elevation. And you can increase the bottom-up obstruction by increasing the distance between you and the distant object. You see, there's no numbers there. It's just qualitative. We can make observations. Now we can do the same thing. The flat Earth hypothesis. Well, since we know the parameters of flat Earth, we can say, well, if there are not 10-foot waves, which there are not, and if there are not 30-foot waves, which there are not, and we don't have some incredibly weird situation with waves, which we would see, and we don't, then we can say, well, with the minor variations of the waves and the observer above those waves, then the rest of it averages out to be, according to flat Earth, flat. And so we know that if there's an object here and an observer here, that the thing in the middle can't get between them because it's below that line of sight that they say, right? Because they think it's flat, right? They don't think it's curving, so it can't curve up to get in the way. So that line of sight goes from the observer to the hull of the ship, right? There's nothing between you. So there's nothing that would stop you from seeing any portion of the ship that's not in the water. So there's a qualitative prediction for flat Earth. And this experiment, this observation right here, shows that to not be the case. And furthermore, if you increase or decrease your elevation, the flatness is still not between you and the ship, provided you're higher than the waves, which you are. The observer there is 2 feet at the bottom. Those waves are not 2 feet. There you go. Super easy stuff. A fantastic experiment.
Okay. All right, then Roger can go ahead with the rebuttal.
I don't mind for back and forth. It doesn't bother
Yeah,
me.
well, hang on. Let Roger do his rebuttal since I gave you your time.
Okay, you wanted me to pull up some my observations if you wanted to. How many? I'm going to ask you, how far away is the boat from the observer? Can I ask that?
Yeah, I don't know. In this case,
That doesn't matter. This is a qualitative, not a quantitative observation experiment.
I don't know. But I would like you to rebut the evidence I gave.
That's fine.
Bring up new evidence.
Let him do that then.
Yeah,
So
I'll get-
rebut the evidence of here
Okay, Brenda.
and
Okay.
here and here.
Okay, yeah. You don't have enough information about half of these to begin with for me to start rebuttals on.
So here's the question. What was he going to do? What was he if he had the distance and the temperature and the pressure and the elevation and all of the, if every single thing, every single parameter, what was Roger going to do with it to show how it works for flat Earth? He wasn't. There is no flat earther that in all of history has ever taken the observer height, the distance, the temperature, the pressure, the weather, and produced any meaningful prediction, any meaningful anything using flat Earth. It's never happened. He was not going to do anything. This is just a red herring. He's saying, "Oh, look over here. You don't have that. Well, then we don't have enough to even discuss it. Yeah, that's it. We don't have enough." Sorry, we do, because you weren't going to do anything with it anyway.
You don't have the distance to the object, the distance to the horizon on the globe, for one.
Why would he need the distance to the horizon on the globe to explain it for flat Earth? You don't need that for flat Earth. Why do you need to talk about the globe there? Explain how it works for flat Earth.
You're missing so many pieces to the puzzle so far. But I mean, your predictions are you can only see what to the horizon is how far again?
The distance to the horizon is going to depend on the observer's height.
Okay.
And the sailboat example proved it to be the case.
So let's say a 6 foot height per observer. What should you see?
What? I didn't quite catch that.
At a 6 foot height from sea level, how far should you see is the question.
Approximately 3 miles, 5 kilometers.
Okay. And
Oh, don't confuse them with metric. Jimmy Madison 42 for $10 says even that crisp horizon line should not be there. If the Earth were truly flat, the water should fade into a diffuse nothing at the end of visual range. Where's the rest of the water, Flurfs? Very true. I think actually it would the fade into a diffuse of nothing as the surf increases. Right now, if you're looking over the ocean, this one here appears to not be over the ocean, or at least it's inside of a bay or an inlet of some sort, because you can see mountains behind it or hills or something behind it. So the horizon should continue going up to the shore, and if it's too far for clear viewing through the air, then it would just be blurry. It would never be crisp. So you're right, it should never be crisp. But it's not the end of the visual range. It's the end of the ability for light to travel through the air coherently.
you don't have any idea how far these guys are.
I don't. No.
All right.
Because that's not necessary, Roger, because the prediction is simply that there will be obstruction and more obstruction versus less obstruction depending on the height of the observer. So the sheer numbers don't matter. What matters is the fact that We can see more as the observer gains altitude.
And you're not giving me any of the conditions they're in, neither like tides or whatnot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter with tides because the boats float on top of the water.
Yeah, well, I know they do, but like when it comes to optics, the height there above the sea level does matter. Tides do play a role in it.
How do they play a role in it? He doesn't know how. He's just heard other flirts say it.
No, they don't, because the boats are floating on top of the water.
Yeah, well, I got that, but the height of the water from sea level is what counts.
Yeah. And that's right on the screen there. 2 feet, 6 feet.
It doesn't matter how far down the sea floor is. It could be 10 feet. It could be 40 feet. The boats are going to float on top, and they're going to be obstructed by the curvature of the earth, regardless of how deep the water is.
You're not getting what I'm saying here. This is moving water, right?
Moving water, right. This is moving water, right? No. Yes, it moves back and forth, but this isn't a river. What in the hell?
I don't know. It's either ocean or a large lake. I don't know.
So tides will play a difference in how high the boat is above your visible.
No,
Yeah.
They won't.
Yeah, it will.
Because the boats float on top of the water, Roger.
Yes, but over distance you lose optic range.
Over distance, you lose optic range. What causes you to lose optic range over distance, Roger?
I don't know what optic range is.
You don't know what the Rayleigh criterion is? You don't know how far you're...
The Rayleigh criterion with an M at the end, people. Oh dear. They do like to throw that one out. See, here's Brenda. Ask him. Okay, let's do this. Let's say that boat is 4 miles away. Let's apply the Rayleigh criterion. Go. How do we do it? Mr. Roger, you so smart. Let's walk through applying the Rayleigh criterion. How's it work? You have no damn clue.
Your eye vision works.
I don't know what Rayleigh criterion. I can see the letters on the sails. So Rayleigh criterion is not a factor.
Yeah, in distance of what you're looking at, it does.
No,
it gets compressed for the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no such thing as compression. That's something that's made up by flat earthers. Okay,
Brenda, there is compression. So vertical compression does happen due to refraction, and so you see that with the sun or the moon as it nears the horizon. The reason why we see it with the sun and the moon consistently is because from where we are through the entire atmosphere out to space, where the sun and the moon live most of the time, except when they're in the clouds, apparently. I'm kidding. I have to say I'm kidding, or the flatties won't know. Okay, so you've got from you where it's full pressure wherever you're at, all the way out to space. You've got a continuously decreasing pressure gradient, and so that will cause things to appear lifted up. Now, when you take something and you only have the same number of vertical degrees, the same space vertically to pack that into. So when you take this much stuff and you pack it into this much space, right? It has to become compressed. And it's compressed closer to the horizon than farther from the horizon. So there is compression, and you get it consistently with the sun and moon, and the positions of the stars as well. You can also get vertical compression depending on the conditions over water. So you can see like a building. So if a building has windows on it and the windows are consistently spaced near the horizon, they will be vertically shorter. If the PBS documentary where they didn't actually record the helicopter going below the horizon, that one.
The chargers.
Do I? What kind of charger?
Right.
A USB-C charger?
It's up to, it's 200.
Oh, right there. That one I think has the plug for my phone.
Can I use it?
Your phone won't charge with this.
But can I use the brick?
You can use a brick, yeah.
It's dead.
Is it? No, it's probably not. Here, hold on. At 67%. There you go. All right. Get a little farther. All right. Love you. Sleep well. All right. Okay. All right. So where was I? The compression. So you do get compression. Because you know, when you have a positive coefficient of refraction, that causes things to be lifted. But the things that are well above, say 15 degrees above the horizon, they're essentially very close to being raised up by nothing. And so you've got this area from 15 degrees down to the horizon, which is a little below. So it's more than 15 without refraction. But then you have all of these things that are maybe would be 15 and a quarter degrees of space. So they all have to get crunched up. So that crunching, the compression happens closer to the horizon. So there's a little bit. But in this particular example here, this boat here, we don't see much. And there isn't a whole lot of visual cues to tell us. You could probably, if you got the original photo, you could look at things, but it's just not a lot. So anyway.
No. I've actually been dealing with Craig and MCToon for a long time, and they scream compression a lot in their observation.
Okay, but you're dealing with.
We don't say it a lot. We don't bring it up very much. It's not the vertical compression isn't the thing. The horizontal compression. So if you have the horizon, say you take a photo of the horizon with a rectilinear lens at high elevation. It's difficult to see the left to right curve across the entire width of the photo because it's wide, it's filling our whole view. So if you take that and you horizontally compress it, then what it does is it magnifies the apparentness of any curves that are there. Now, any straight line remains straight when you do that, but if there is a curved line, it will be more apparent because that variation is all near to itself. So anyway, that's not this type of compression though. So
with me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the compression comes from the optics.
Yeah, I don't understand what that has to do with something being obstructed by another object.
What object are you talking about?
This ocean, the sea, the lake is obstructing your view of the bottom of the hull of this boat.
The ocean is. There's no waves in between
Yes.
here. They don't get larger over distance.
The waves are smaller and the observer is above the waves, so that can't obstruct your vision.
You don't understand optics at all, do you?
Let's do about one more minute of this because we're kind of going in circles, and then if we
Okay,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. It's fine. This is
hang on. All right, I get it. All right,
yeah,
so go ahead.
this is fine. We're
right.
having a pleasant conversation. We're disagreeing, but it's
right.
not contentious.
All right, no, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying you're kind of going in circles. But go ahead.
Yeah, because number
It's
one,
boring
there's an
for the
appeal
audience
to
is what I'm
there's an
saying.
appeal to optics, which I don't understand because that's a word, and I don't know what Roger means by that.
yeah, we all know that Roger's just making this up, and Brenda's being very kind. So you know, you need to what Roger really needs is to be pressed. What are the specific optics at play here? The he's making a claim that it is optics. Well, then where would we find this in the annals of science on the topic of optics? Where is this? Nowhere.
That word.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a limit to the resolution of the object you're looking at.
That makes no sense.
Yes, but I can see the letters on the sail, Roger.
Yeah, I know. But the ground, the horizon below you is going to be more predominant toward the lower half of it because it's closer to
No.
you.
No, the resolution is good. I can
Not
see.
the resolution. That's not what I'm talking about.
You said the word resolution.
I said I'm not talking about the resolution on the letters. That's what I said. Talking
Well,
about
the whole image is at the same resolution, Roger. I can see the windows to the cabin. I can see the man. I can see his arm. I can.
Even more to the point, when the observer is 2 feet high, the closest portion of the boat to the observer is the 2 foot high portion of the hull. The sail, which is farther away from the observer than the hull because it's inset from the boat, is definitely farther away. So if it's ever anything about the resolution limit, then the hull the entire sail should be invisible, if that's what causes things to not be seen. The entire hull should be obstructed, not the hull. The entire sail should be obstructed by the water and not the hull, because the hull is closer and less Rayleigh criterion.
I see the person standing next to him. I can distinguish between the two people standing next to each other. Rayleigh criterion is not making it difficult for me to resolve the differences between the two individuals on the deck of the boat.
I kind of see what you're saying, and one of them's a little more fuzzier and out of resolution, actually.
Out of resolution, not the right term.
The more I look at it, the one that's further away, they're not at the same distance.
Right, I can't see their faces. It's all a blur.
One's further out than the other. If you can get two photographs that are identical, where you
This is as close to identical as possible.
have this effect, but I mean, you wouldn't have it at the same longitude. And latitude.
They're within literally minutes of each other. We can see it. One at 42 and the other at 35. It's within minutes of each other. It hasn't gone far. I can see the rigging. I can see the letters. I can see details on the boat, and details on the sails. I can see the rope connected from the top of the mast to the boat.
So would you not? He's lower down, right? In the first one, correct? Would it not the water obstruct your view?
They're not lower down.
They're not. I'm talking. He said the observer height. He's lower at 2 feet.
The observer changed location. The boat is at the same place.
Yeah, that's the
boat. The boat is stationary.
My goodness, he's grasping at straws. Just listen. Roger's just tearing him up.
The observer changed his height. That's
Brendan's just tearing him up.
the prediction of the globe, that if you change the observer's height, you will see more or less of the distant object that will be hidden behind the curve.
That's not necessarily hidden behind a curve. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying there's
It's
other factors.
obvious. You can see it, Roger. You can see it right there.
I'm saying those are the other factors, but he can't actually just list them off and have any backing evidence for it. What other factors? The Rayleigh criterion? Nope, that's not a factor. The things that are farther away are seen just fine. Rayleigh criterion doesn't cause the top of the sailboat to move down so that the bottom of the sailboat is below the horizon. That's not what the Rayleigh criterion does.
It's behind the curve.
Is it? No.
Yes. There's no waves in the way. The waves are small. They're like maybe a foot or 2 feet high, right? And there's angular refraction is not a factor because we can see details on the boat. We can see fine details on the boat. So angular resolution is not a factor. And they were taken within minutes of each other. The only difference is that the person was laying on the beach and the other, they stood up.
Yeah, I get the same effect on my floor here with the camera too.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Roger.
I can put the camera down at the floor, and the further it gets away from me, the bottom will obstruct itself on a flat surface too.
Yeah. Step 1, measure to make sure it's flat. They don't do that. They just assume it's flat. They're like, yeah, it looks flat to me. My eyeballs are the perfect measurement tool to determine whether or not the floor is perfectly flat. Oh my goodness. The wall behind me is leaning. Everybody use your eyeballs. Tell me, is the top of the wall behind me leaning toward you or away from you? Can you tell? Can you tell? You cannot tell. Of course you cannot tell. This is so dumb.
That's a different phenomenon.
It is. Well, that sounds like the same phenomenon to me.
No, when you take a picture from the floor, the foreground is highly blurred, and the left-hand side of this picture, you can see details on the waves. It is not blurred. The reason that you see blurry photographs taken from, say, a warehouse floor or a person's floor is because the closer floor is unresolved by the lens because it's focused on the distant object.
What I'm saying here.
So Brenda, that's true. The depth of field of the camera tends to cause the near stuff to be blurred, but a floor of a warehouse or of there's one where they're at some sort of a large outdoor thing going toward maybe a hangar of some sort or something. I don't know. Those things are graded, slanted by law to shed water. They need to do that by law so that water has a place to go. If you made a Walmart or a Home Depot or a Menards, because Menards is the best, or a Fleet Farm. Fleet Farm's pretty good too, I gotta say. The Fleet Farm and Menards are about as far apart from me, about similar distance from me. Anyway, if you went there, and if when they built it, they made the surface of the floor perfectly level. Now, level on a globe is curved, level on flat Earth is flat. Okay? Either way, if they made it perfectly level, then what would happen if water spilled on it? If there's a leak in the roof, it would go everywhere. It would equally be everywhere. But building codes restrict you from doing that. Building codes require you to slant the surface toward the drains at a 1 or 2% grade. And same thing when you're outside. You do not want to have a large flat surface, or a large level surface is the right word. You wouldn't want to have a large level surface that didn't have any elevation variation, because then the water would pool up. You need it to be sloped. So what they'll do is they'll declare that something is flat without testing it, and then they'll go and they'll find a place where they get the result they want. And then they'll declare that they've definitely found something, without actually doing the important work of controlling the confounding variables. They don't want to, because it doesn't work in their favor. They don't care about truth. They care about the result that matches their pre-selected conclusion.
Dude, it's really what it is.
They look like they're about the same resolution to me.
Well, I'm talking about at the base of it, where the lens is lower. Yeah, it's going to distort the bottom of the picture.
Yeah, that's not a thing that happens, Roger.
Really?
No.
I've actually done demonstrations.
I'm familiar with Nathan Oakley's false argument that the brick at the bottom of the wall should disappear before the brick at the top of the wall, and that's simply not true. Nathan Oakley's argument is fallacious, because the entire wall, it can be resolved. And so it is not the case that because of angular resolution, the brick at the bottom should disappear before the brick at the top. And that's simply false. That's simply false.
I didn't say that Nathan Oakley and brick in the wall neither. So
No, but you're using his argument, and it's one that's been passed around in flat Earth circles for a long time, saying that for some reason, the base of the object, say a distant wall, will disappear because of angular resolution, because of Rayleigh's criteria, and that is a bad argument because the same angle applies to the brick at the top of the wall as it applies to the bottom of the wall. It's 6 inches there and it's 6 inches at the top. If the brick at the bottom can't be resolved by the camera or the eye, then the brick at the top can't be. But we can resolve the brick at the top, and therefore
JSS Tiger, Brenda, stop the carnage.
it is not Rayleigh's criteria that is causing us not to see the brick at the bottom. It's due to obstruction, not Rayleigh's criteria.
that's what I was saying. It was due to obstruction from all the waves and the water down below. There's more down there.
Above the waves. We're above the waves.
Oh my
We're above
gosh.
the waves.
But the photograph itself is taking a photograph of the waves too. You understand?
Yeah, but
Oh my
the
gosh.
observer is above the waves. He can see over the
He's
waves.
so dumb.
You can see over all the waves all the way across the bay.
All the way to the horizon, yes.
Yeah.
Real
So
quickly,
the lens is not going to.
do you have other people waiting, Roger?
Yeah, there's like
All right.
If you would like
I'm
to-
not- hang on. I'm not kicking anybody out. 5 minutes, okay, for this between you two, and then move to somebody else.
So I appreciate you letting me in. Thank you very much. If I can't convince you, but I gave my best, a good argument, I think, for this.
Okay. Playing some Chewbacca. I'm sorry, one of them I think got a little loud. Anyway, here's the Chewy one. It's just a soundboard I found. Hold on. All right, anyway. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, sorry, that's from Whatacast. I love him. He's pretty good. Okay. We got Jimmy Madison 42 says even that crisp horizon line shouldn't be there. I read that already. Raspberry says those are the pillars of the earth, Toon. Of course they are. Mark Andre Cornois, is that how you say it? Cornois? I don't know. It says I seen bigger IQ inside a Valentine's chocolate box. Life is like a box of chocolates. Tim Davidson says the Rayleigh criterion, at least one Rayleigh per adventuring party. Scotty Orange says I haven't been made a moderator. Not sure how to wield such power. I just saw Jaws in IMAX today, so the music is playing in my head. That's really cool. I wonder where around here. There's at the Minnesota Zoo in Apple Valley, not far to get there, is an IMAX theater where I saw 300. We went to see 300. I don't know if that's playing there. Anyway, Raspberry says, is this why they say you can't look at the ceiling to prove the floor? Because they don't believe in floors? And I mean, that's a great point. They're like, you need to look at the floor. Well, this is looking at the floor. This is exactly 100% what the globe predicts for the floor. And this is completely opposite of what flat Earth predicts. There should never be anything blocking. Shouldn't happen. We know the geometry of the surface of the water claims for flat Earth. And the flatness can't get between you and the distant object. It just can't. Clems says this, the other guy is coping. He won't concede. Of course not. And Arnold's member for 44 months says Timu Chewbacca. Arnold, by the way, is making a music video. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. He's not done yet, but I can't wait for it to be done to see it. He's been putting a lot of work into it, so it's going to be quite awesome. Okay, so that's the portion with Brenda, and so we're going to jump up to where Craig comes in. Right there. Here we go.
Be kind. All right. Hey, Craig, how's it going? Can't hear
You're
you, Craig.
muted, Craig.
Yeah, you're muted.
Let's see. Any
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
we
we
got
can hear
you
you.
now.
There we go. Sorry, hey, I've got a bunch of microphones that I need to select. How you doing?
Oh, good. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, a little bit annoyed that you lied about me just now, to be honest. But
What did I lie about?
well,
Please
you
tell me.
said I've been screaming compression for years, and that's not something I've ever done. And I wasn't sure why you would lie like that about me.
I'm not lying about that, about you, but I mean, I've heard you say compression in several photographs, like your east to west compression, where you had the bendy lines
east to west compression? What the hell is that?
from east to west in a photograph. You know which one I'm talking
No,
about.
I've never said compression in regards to east to west.
You-
Certainly not in regards to anything like the picture you just brought up, Roger. And I just want to say I would appreciate it if you didn't lie about me. That's all. I don't mind.
Okay, well, I'm not lying about you. I've heard you say compression.
So, you know, I was a little bit upset at the horrible, dreadful language in your intro. That's
Oh,
terrible.
damn,
to have
man.
swearing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good point there. Roger pretends to be all religious and stuff, but the music videos he chooses, oof, man, a little rough. Those lyrics.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been streaming for about 53 hours, so I'm sure that
That's nice.
you someone that's as tired as I am. Have you heard, Roger, of Radar Horizons?
Yeah, I know what you're going to now.
No, he doesn't. Anyway, so by the way, in when Roger talked with Will a couple days prior to this, Roger said that he was ready for everything that FTFE or I brought. Everything. They were totally ready, and the panel of 4 people were totally ready. Now, why again does he need a panel of 4 people? We see this 21 Truth is something. Oh, Disclord has showed up. Why does Roger, I mean, it's adorable that Roger needs Disclord to hold his tallywhacker while Roger passes water, but you know, I don't know why he was so excited to have a whole panel of people. But okay, if you need a panel of people, I get it. You need somebody to tag team to make up excuses for when you don't have the excuses ready. That's okay.
You've heard of Radar Horizons, have you?
Yeah, I know they actually make the equipment. They actually supposedly account for it, and that's where you get your shadowing on radars. What about it?
Okay, right. So flat earthers say radar can see forever. No. Ask anyone in the Navy. Hi, me. Radar stops at a hard distance that matches the Earth's curve. Radar beams go straight. If Earth were flat, you'd just keep picking stuff up until the signal got too weak. But we do not see that. Instead, small ships or low aircraft vanish behind the curve and only show up when they're tall enough to poke back over it. Put a radar on a ship about 20 meters above the water and it can only see another ship's mast, also about 30 meters tall, out to about 40 kilometers. Any lower, it's gone. Any taller, shows up further. And yes, that's exactly what radar operators see every day. On a flat Earth, the radar range would just depend on how strong the radar is. But in real life, power does not matter. A small fishing boat right in the front of you disappears over the horizon, while a big tanker further away is still visible. That only makes sense if the surface is curving away. So radar has a horizon that moves with height. That's literally the Earth's curve showing up in technology that's used every single day. Flat Earth would simply mean an infinite radar. We don't get that. We get a radar horizon. Game over, Roger. Earth's not flat.
Okay,
I've got
so
documents I can present for you if you would like to see, specific.
I'm well aware of what you're talking about. That's not a big deal.
I don't think you are.
So
He's got
when
10
you're
minutes. I've
okay,
got his 10 minutes started. If you want to give
okay,
me
if you
10
want to go
minutes.
into more details, you can. You got 10 minutes.
He's got 9 minutes left.
I gave all the details that I needed there. I explained exactly what a radar horizon was and why it shows that the Earth is curved. As someone that was in the Navy for many years and worked with radar, I can confirm to you that
That was Miss Chewbacca, by the way.
the radar horizon matches the predictions of a globe of the purported sizes that we live on.
Okay,
If the Earth is flat, there
hold on,
would not be a radar horizon. So, Roger, the question to you is, why is there a radar horizon if the Earth is flat?
Now, can you demonstrate it? Can you show us right quick? My dad was a radar man.
Can I show you a radar horizon? I can't show you a radar horizon.
My dad was a radar man in the Navy. So? Did he teach you everything that he knew about radar? No, he did not.
I don't have a radar with me, but I can present to you some papers about electronic warfare and the radar if you would like. I've got screen sharing options. That's this one here. That's what I want.
Okay.
So there are limits to the reach of radar signals at the frequencies normally used for radar. Radar waves travel in a straight line. The waves are obstructed by weather or shadowing. Interference may come from other aircraft or from reflections. Figure 1 shows what a radar horizon is and how it would apply to aircraft. So if there's aircraft close to the ground, they can literally go underneath the radar, which is a tactic that is used in warfare. They get stealth planes to fly really low so that they stay below that radar horizon. If the Earth was flat, you would not be able to stay below a radar that is in a straight line. There simply would not be that hard cutoff. There's talks about all the specifics of the equations taken into account and the target altitude that you would expect the distance to be able to see based on how high something is. There's a lot of papers here.
We got Scott Level Realm there says the radar horizon doesn't match the globe measurements. Where's that? Right. What you'd need to do is you need to look at the actual globe predictions and look at the radar that is seen and apply that. Number one. Number two, then you would need to show why there is a radar horizon for flat Earth. Why is it that planes can fly under the radar if the Earth is flat? If you have a radar tower that's well above the surface and something that's far away and you don't have topography in the way, what is it? What's causing it? And why is it that it does, in fact, when you look at the numbers, match the radius of the globe? Why is that? No answer.
Here that are linked, all the citations and everything here. You could peruse at your own leisure. But yes, radar horizons are a thing that exist and are used every single day and would not show what they show if the Earth is flat.
So how far can you fly under this radar, Greg?
Well,
how far can you fly under this radar? It depends on the specific radar tower and on the topography of the land. Oh my gosh.
it depends on how high the radar is.
Yeah, and wouldn't that affect how far the radar would actually be broadcast, how high it is?
Yeah, it would change how far away the radar horizon is. So it's the same as, the distance to the horizon. It's, 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height of eye. It's the same for a radar. That is the distance to the horizon. So after that distance, if you stay low enough, you go below the radar. Even though the radar would be firing out in a straight line, there is a hard equidistant circle around the radar, which if you go low enough, you go below it. Does not make sense if the Earth is flat.
Well, you put your paper in private chat for me. I'll look over it. I'm not just going to take you give me this and I'm going to accept everything in it. So
I'm not asking you to accept it at face value. Obviously, that's not the point of debate.
I'm going to dig through it. Yeah, I'm going to dig through your.
But the point is for you to know.
He's not going to dig through it. There are words in there that are too big for him to understand. Words like the.
I'll try and refute.
I'm not going to refute it, not without any preparation at all. So
Well, isn't that the point of this debate, Roger? That we come here
No,
with
it's
some
not.
evidence to present and you attempt to
You're
refute it.
giving me evidence, and I can give you evidence that the horizon's well beyond that point.
Oh, is he going to be doing that? Anybody have a guess as to whether or not he's going to be doing that?
So your evidence would disagree with radars. that are
You'll
used
tell me
in-
it's refraction. Yeah. That's what you'll
So
do.
I haven't yet mentioned refraction.
but you
Refraction
will.
does come into account because obviously radar is an electromagnetic wave which is affected by refraction. Of course, refraction is highly quantified, Roger. We understand every single thing about refraction, and we can calculate what refraction will do if we know the the conditions that the light is traveling through.
So now this one here, Northern Rebellion says worst globe proof ever. Typically when flat earthers try to do stuff like this, the more likely they are to say this kind of thing, the more likely they are to not have even the beginning of a rebuttal. And of course, Roger isn't going to have a rebuttal at all. No flat earther has ever, just like it is basically bottom up obstruction. Because radar is photons, light is photons. It's the same thing. That is bottom-up obstruction. The plane has been obstructed by the curving surface of the Earth. Why is that? Rayleigh criterion? Yeah, no. And this is how dumb Roger is. He should use all of the same lame excuses as he does for when it's visible light. Because it's photons. He should use it. He should say Rayleigh criterion. He should say all of the things. Well, what is the distance? I need to know the weather, and it's foreshortening. Does foreshortening cause you to not see the airplane? Well, it's the same effect. Photons can't get to the receiving apparatus because something's in the way.
Could you try again?
What did my phone started I was messing with my phone like let's take off the case. Anyway, shh, you be quiet, you. All right.
We know refraction so well that I'm wearing glasses that were designed because of our knowledge of refraction. So refraction every single time matches what we say, but I haven't brought up refraction. I'm simply talking about the radar horizon. And you can speak to anyone in the Navy or
what you're talking
every
about.
radar. There is a hard
So I
what
can
would
review.
be your explanation for it?
I tell you what, me and you, we should have this talk after I look into the radar stuff. See, this is not just.
Which will never happen. And also remember, Roger very clearly said that he was ready for everything that myself or Craig were going to bring. Everything he was ready for.
Straight up evidence. This is just a paper. So I need to look into why.
What do you mean it's not straight up evidence? The existence of radars and the horizon that they give is evidence, Roger. This is just a factual thing. Every single person in the world uses. Hold on, sorry. I do apologize. The middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. That's entirely rude of me.
Sorry.
But the fact.
Man, come on, Chewbacca, do your job. What's going on, Chewbacca? Huh? Yeah, you were supposed to jump in when Roger was over talking Craig, Chewbacca.
Roger, every single person in the world that uses radar knows that there's a radar horizon that matches the predictions of the curve of the Earth. Anybody in the world ever that has used radar, and I can personally attest this because I've done it. So rather than just running away from the question, just try and attempt to answer as to why there is a radar horizon that is expected on the globe if the Earth is flat. What would be your explanation?
No, I don't have an explanation for you right now. I have to look into the topic more.
All right, and that's it. That's it. So another fail for Roger. We're not gonna watch the rest of it. It's mostly just going in circles. Okay, one of the best ones. This is probably the best one. This was. Are you ready? Are you ready? I hope this person's in the chat just lurking. Here we go. Here we go. This is gonna make Mikey so upset.
You ready?
Are you doing debate now?
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
All right, I
You
got
ready?
to put on my mod hat. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh wait. Well, Chewbacca's talking. Just a second.
I'm glad you did it. Hey, Kate.
Hello. I'm glad to be here. This is my first Flat Earth debate. I heard you were donating to a good charity, so I wanted to
I
show
am.
up. So thank you for that.
No
Now
problem.
I'm going to come across or do something a little different, I think, from other people who are going to come on. So before I was in my current career, I was an elementary school teacher.
All right, can I add
And-
one thing?
Oh, yes.
Can I just real? Is this going to be like your presentation introduction? What?
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
will
start
be.
your 10-minute. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start your.
Oh,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I was an elementary school teacher. And one of the things you're supposed to know
Sorry, that one is probably too loud, wasn't it?
before you graduate elementary school is Earth's place in the universe. This is the 5th grade curriculum. I don't know if I can share my screen. I'm not going to even bother. You can look it up yourself. It's 5ESS1-2, Earth's place in the universe. You are supposed to learn by the time you graduate from elementary school that about the orbit of the Earth around the sun, the prediction of the shadows, predictions of the stars, and the fact that the Earth is a globe. So as a former elementary school teacher, I'm a bit disappointed to hear you say that the Earth is flat. This is very important knowledge going forward, that the Earth is a globe, because it's used in college and high school classes, particularly if you go into engineering. So I have a college book right here about satellite orbits and communications. And you will see, because this is about orbits and communications, the Earth being a globe is, oops, if I can
Sorry.
have my,
Kate, was this the Mac? Because the Mac has the, when you use the built-in Mac camera, it tries to like follow where you are. Is that what it's doing?
camera not move around. The globe is pretty heavily used across the entire textbook. Like here's, more orbits, that kind of stuff. So it's important for children to know that the Earth is a globe because they go into fields like engineering, like STEM. And
So just, yeah, people are saying this. Basically, these flat earthers could not pass 5th grade. Kate, I mean, with a smile on your face, you humiliated them. Great work.
I do my best to prepare them for the careers that they're going to have. And part of that is having a fundamental understanding of the concepts that they're going to encounter later on. Your thoughts?
Okay. No, that was good. I'm well aware of the curriculum. Yeah.
No, he's not well aware of any curriculum. School and Roger Ledwell are not things that ever got along with each other.
I understand it, and I understand my arguments go against the mainstream, and they fight it tooth and nail. I get it, and I understand why you would be worried about your kids learning about the curriculum that they actually teach in college later on and stuff. But the further you get into college, a lot of their theories that actually pertain.
All right. Roger's about to say stuff that he doesn't know anything about because he didn't take any of these classes. He didn't go to college. He doesn't have a college degree. He knows nothing of college. But he's going to talk about college as if he knows about college. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
To the globe get thrown out the window.
Oh, can you give an example?
I'll give you a good example. Like in 1908, they threw out Newtonian gravity for relativity.
1908. Now, dates are hard, Roger. I know for you. Dates are hard. Also, remembering the years that things happened are hard for you, Roger. It was not 1908 that Einstein publishes General Theory of Relativity, which would be the thing you're trying to talk about. But, I hear an orange thing meowing at me. Hello, orange thing meowing. Here you go, say something. What do you have to say? Yeah, that's a good kitty. He's so
hungry.
their water dish is there, up on the shelf. Stay that way, and they can't see you. Don't go there. You gotta grab it because they're thirsty.
And hungry.
Yeah, grab their food dish at the bottom.
The fruit is hungry.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I'll top that off later, but get them some water. Okay. Oh, there you go. So the what are you? Okay, so the dogs like to drink the water, of course, and Donkey, our big dog, he slobbers everywhere, and so I don't let him drink the water because for the cats, because he slobbers everywhere. So I put it up so the cats actually couldn't get it. So he's super upset because he's thirsty. He's like pushing on me. What are you pushing on me? He's pretty strong. All right, do you want some water? Is that it? Okay, go get water. He's not getting water. No, don't trap him in here. He'll just bark at us. Oh my gosh. Okay, there he is. He's getting water. Okay. All right. He's got. Hold on, I gotta see if I can get a picture of this and then send it to you all. Turtle! Hey, Turtle! There we go. Let's see if that turned out. It did. Okay. I'm gonna put it so you can see it. Here you go. Sending, airdropping. Yes. So the cat is crabby. But that's him. That's what he does. He's a crabby cat. The photo didn't turn out great because it's too dark. So it's a little blurry. But that's okay. You all will survive. All right. Here it is. Here he is. Sitting there with the water bowl now. That's the water bowl, and the food dish is empty. You know why? Because Penguin ate the cat food. Penguin loves the cat food. Okay. Thank you, Turtle. All right. Where were we? I forgot. We'll just go back to playing this.
Relativity by Einstein.
Oh yeah. He was about to not understand relativity.
So they did not throw out Newtonian gravity for Einsteinian. So Einsteinian gravity is a superset of Newtonian gravity. So you can actually derive Newtonian equations for flat spacetime using Einstein's equations. So Newtonian
You said flat spacetime. They're going to be so confused.
gravity is a specialized version of gravity that you are in a flat space-time, and you don't take into account any relativistic effects. If you want to take into relativistic effects, then you go into Einstein's equations. However, there's a secret. Even to this day, aerospace engineers still use Newton's equations.
That's not even a secret, actually. Anyway, anybody wondering, this I won't go over it right now. I've gone over it before. I just put in the link in there, mctoon.net/Einstein. The derivation of the Newtonian limit, starting with Einstein's field equations, is right there. 4 different derivations for you to peruse at your leisure, showing that AstroKate knows what she is talking about and that Roger Ledwell doesn't have a damn clue.
When designing spacecraft, there's no need to go to that level of precision usually when you are designing for gravity.
Yeah, see, that's where you lose me. That's really.
Of course. So why did you make the claim? That's what's funny. He tried to play in the big leagues, talking about Einstein and relativity, but he doesn't have a damn clue. You should not go there if you don't know.
It is. Gravity is like an Achilles heel, you might say. I've never seen any actual physical proof of gravity. I've never seen mass attracting mass, that equation actually in function.
So in college,
But now, for reference, he can't pass fifth grade. And since he can't do fifth grade, hold on, something's going on here. Something's going fast. Okay, since he can't pass fifth grade, there's no way that he could use the law of gravitational attraction. It's beyond him.
there's an experiment that a lot of physics students use or demonstrate, and I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the Cavendish experiment.
I'm well aware of it. Yes.
Yeah. So that's usually the classic way of showing that mass attracts mass. One of the interesting things about gravity, and I'm glad you brought it up, because gravity is one of the weakest forces, and it's actually so weak that it dwarfs even like a fridge magnet. So a magnet, of course, is electromagnetism. A small fridge magnet, if you think about it, can have more force than the entire Earth's gravity pulling down on it. I mean, so gravity is so weak, it's really hard to demonstrate. So you really need specialized equipment. Usually what they do to make it really obvious is they will...
He's about to not understand this even in the slightest, Kate. Not even a little.
Have it pivot with also a laser. So it goes a longer, like linear distance across like a wall, so you can see it move.
I've studied Cavendish quite well.
No, you have not.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there are plenty of other factors that would actually supersede gravity even in that situation, considering
Oh, is he going to specify them?
what they actually use in the Cavendish experiment itself.
So I've seen it done in multiple ways.
He just said there are things. Don't know what those things are, but they definitely are, because he studied it so much.
What do you think is wrong with the Cavendish experiment?
Well, for instance, I'll give you the original one. Let's go back to Cavendish's experiment itself. What was it actually trying to prove in the first instance?
Mass attracting mass.
Cavendish was actually trying to find out the relative density of the Earth. That was actually stated in his first experiment. Nothing to do with gravity itself. He wanted to know how dense the Earth was, how it displaced everything.
Right, but you'd have to measure the gravitational constants in order.
Newton came up with that himself. The whole gravitational constant actually will work in both fields, but it failed in the celestial field.
It did not. It did not fail in the celestial field.
That's why they threw it out. That's why they pulled in Einstein to make his relativity for space-time.
Yeah, nothing got pulled out. Just to be clear, Newton's equations.
None of this happened. Remember, just a second ago, he was talking about, he made claims about Newtonian gravity being thrown out in 1908. Wrong year. And then said, oh, he doesn't understand that topic. And now he's going to talk about it as if he understands it. Oh, just so insane.
Are still very much in use. This is a modern textbook, modern college textbook, and you will find Newton's equations. Oops.
Well, I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
I didn't say that Newton's got pulled out. No, like the main physicists that actually work with the cosmos, they don't even take Newton's equations into account when they're looking at.
The main physicists that work with the cosmos don't even use Newton's equations. Really? How do you know this, Roger? Have you read their work? Of course you haven't.
The stars at all, but that's what the whole thing behind the gravitational constant was supposed to marry the two, the heavens and the earth. He tried to marry the two in the process, and he couldn't. They don't account for the moon's motions and stuff. They that's why they had to invent dark matter and several other different things they had to add to it, because it fails after.
So the moon's motion doesn't work, so they had to invent dark matter. He doesn't have a clue. Oh my gosh. Dark matter is about the gravitational, is about galactic rotation. No problem with the moon. Just use Newton. Just use the law of gravitational attraction for the moon. That's all you need. In the solar system, you can use Newton's law of gravitational attraction for everything within the solar system, except for the long-term position of Mercury in orbit around the sun. If you're needing to look at that, then you will need to include Einstein's field equations, and maybe Venus and Earth, depending on how many significant figures you need to look at. Wow. Why even talk? You're so wrong about everything you say, Roger.
For a while, there's so many things. They're at their limit. They're at the threshold. Their predictions are becoming less and less frequent with the Einsteinian and the Newton. They're actually trying to pull back on a couple professors who are trying to get rid of Einstein completely and go back to Newton for everything.
Well, yeah.
No, nobody's trying to do that.
No one's trying to go back to Newton for everything. But you brought up.
I have a paper if you want to look at it. It's a college paper.
Well,
yeah.
Oh shoot, this camera.
It's a college paper. That'd be a fancy college paper and all that good stuffing and things, because them book learning stuff is what happened in the college learning paper. That's what it be. It's a college paper.
Wants to follow me around, but you will notice. Yeah, you'll follow. You'll see a telescope behind me.
I don't know.
I do a lot of astronomy myself. I said I was a former teacher. This is true. I've moved into aerospace, and I've never once used Einsteinian physics for anything other than time. Time is the only thing I need to get into Einstein. But as far as just basic body, like bodies orbiting,
motion.
Basic motion, I just use use Newtonian stuff.
Yeah. So
that's
what I was saying. They're trying to go back to Newtonian.
No,
they really
it's always been there. So you can take Einstein's equations and derive the Newtonian equations from Einstein in a flat spacetime. So Newtonian physics is a specific description of gravity that only if you are in sort of our meat space, right? So you're not going very fast. You're in the solar system, that kind of stuff. You only deal with Einsteinian stuff when you deal with things like black holes. Once in a while, there's like the orbit of Mercury that got a little weird that we needed Einstein's equations to solve, but usually you don't need it.
You mean the retrograde motion of Mercury?
Yes.
You needed that to fill in the gap. There's more gap.
There we go. The motion of Mercury, not the retrograde, but the motion of Mercury. Yes. There you go. That's the one thing in the solar system where you need it. Good job. Good job.
And that, I'm sure, with all the so-called stars and their observations that they have to use Einstein to fill in the gap with. It doesn't, that's what I'm saying. Newtonian didn't work that far. That's why they pulled in Einstein.
All right. So I will say this. So one of the reasons why I teach the globe, or I did teach the globe, is because, I need students to become engineers who are going to be learning these concepts and, apply them. Let's say I teach my students and said that the Earth is flat. What can they do from an engineering point of view that they could not do with the globe?
And we're not saying there's anything you can or can't do without a globe, but the globe is unnecessary in my outlook. I review it. I look at it like everything is in a medium.
How would you do celestial navigation without a globe? How would you determine the distance between points on the surface of the Earth without a globe? How would you determine the sunrise and sunset time and angle without a globe? How would you plan a flight route without the globe? None of these things you'd be doing without the globe. But you don't do any of those things, Roger. You work, in your late 50s, I think, and you work at a low end, probably not much above minimum wage job. Because you're not smart, Roger. You don't do any of these things. You didn't go to college. You're talking about the topics that you never studied, and you didn't read these papers and understand them. This is a college paper. You don't understand what it's talking about.
And it's due to its mass in the medium, its density, and it actually flows like that. There's plenty of gas laws and fluid laws that don't require any globe, anything.
Well, they don't. They're not dealing with a scale that large, so they don't need to.
There's no gravity taken into equations for it. Gravity was added to Archimedes' principle as a constant because there are certain things that are.
It was added to Archimedes' principle as a constant.
Constantly moving at a certain rate. It was just a blanket, you might say, to cover it. But I mean,
there's so much straw grasping here. So much.
Are specific gravities that you can actually use. That's what they do use in most colleges, right? Specific gravity for like each occasion has a different.
Oh, I forgot he said that. Oh my God. That's what they use in most college classes, isn't it? They use specific gravity. You don't, what? You don't know what specific gravity is? Why are you even saying that? Oh my God, you stupid idiot.
Each mass has a density to it. Each fluid has a density to it, and it's the relationship between the two.
So the problem is that you can have a vacuum, and an object in a vacuum will fall at the same rate as an object in an atmosphere.
They do.
Yes. So it cannot be a matter of density, because you would expect those experiments to show that if you take away any outside density, that the speed will change, right? The rate of descent will change.
Now, Roger is about to do the biggest straw grasp ever. This is straight from Oakley. This straw grasp he's about to do.
But it doesn't. There's something acting on the ball or acting on the mass.
So we can actually put this to test if you want.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We could totally set up a vacuum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but here's the question for you. Where in nature do you find a vacuum?
There you go. Where in nature do you find a vacuum? This is the biggest straw grasp ever. This is straight out of Nathan Oakley's playbook. So Nathan Oakley, when you talk about, oh, hi Turtle, are you back for more? Turtle just pushed the door open. Hi, what are you looking for? No, okay. The straw grasp is so but Roger didn't know that this wasn't quite the right time to spring it. So this is where, because Nathan Oakley thinks that gases do not have mass. He thinks that because helium goes up, helium balloons go up. So he thinks that they don't have mass because they go up. Makes no sense. Gases have mass, of course. If you have a tank that has helium in it to bring to a party to fill balloons with helium, before when you first bring it to the party, that entire cylinder has larger mass than after you've filled many balloons with it. It loses mass. He doesn't understand this. So then when he talks about, he likes to say, Oakley says, he likes to claim that there's no vector for gravity because balloons go up, right? The reason why balloons go up is because the air is pulled down by gravity more aggressively than the balloon is. And so one of them wins. The air gets to go here, right here. And the balloon that was here, right? The air goes here and says, you have to go up because we get to go here. That's what happens. So then what you do, what Oakley does is because the next thing is they say, well, you take that same helium balloon, you put it in a vacuum chamber, and then it will fall down. Not only will that balloon fall down, that balloon will fall down at the same rate as a bowling ball in that vacuum chamber, as long as it's sufficiently evacuated of air. And then Oakley says, well, where do you find a vacuum chamber in nature? You see, Roger forgot to say chamber. He didn't say chamber. He needed to say chamber. And so Oakley, he likes to then cherry pick a quote about science, where science is exploring the natural world. And then he excludes vacuum chambers because vacuum chambers are man-made. They're not natural. They aren't just laying around outside before people came along and built them. Therefore, according to Oakley, they're not part of nature. But wait a second. The balloon, the helium balloon that Oakley first brought up, where was that sitting around in nature? It was not sitting around in nature, Nathan Oakley. You big idiot. You double standard moron. Oh, dude. Anyway, but Roger forgot that he needed to wait for Caitlin to say vacuum chamber. He just said, where do we find vacuum in nature? And of course, we find that 100 kilometers that direction. Yes, it is. Of course it is. Of course it's a vacuum. Of course it's a vacuum. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. I should do this. Let me go back. Let me fix this. Okay. I gotta back it up. You just watched me. You watched my dumb face listen to them and respond to them. Oh, well.
Yeah, but that's not a vacuum.
You would have to be like in nature.
Where do you find a vacuum?
All right, here we go.
Vacuum.
In a vacuum chamber. Oh, you mean like in nature?
Yeah, nature where you live. Yeah.
Oh, you would have to go up high. The air gets thin as you go higher.
Yeah, but that's not a vacuum.
You see, that's the part I said. Yes, it is a vacuum.
Well, define vacuum, because there's no such thing as a perfect vacuum
Yeah, I've
ever.
heard this before. Yeah. So, I mean, in what practicality do you actually operate in a vacuum?
So, for example, when I am flying in an airplane, the outside air pressure is much lower to the point that I cannot breathe. If the airplane were to open, I would consider that a vacuum. If there's not enough air for me to breathe, that's pretty much a vacuum. Like all the air would get sucked out immediately, right? Like if there was a gap in the airplane, all the air would get sucked out. I mean, that is a very...
Hey, Dick Wayne is here, and he said air falls down. He's right. Hey, Dick Wayne, every once in a while you're right. That's good to hear.
very powerful vacuum, and there's still a bit of air up there, enough to fly, but it's still, pretty much a vacuum. And if you go higher, you get more and more of a vacuum.
Well, that brings in a lot more questions in physics. But I mean, in practicality and engineering with any of your students, are they going to become so-called, and I'm going to say this loosely, rocket scientists?
Yeah. I mean, I went from teaching to essentially rocket science. I mean, it's not as hard as people think. Most of rocket science, once again, is Newtonian equations. Like if you look at the specific impulse of the engines, that kind of stuff. It all just, or even just. You look at the thrust to weight ratio, that's all just Newton's equations.
No, I get you, but I mean,
Oh, do you actually understand it, Roger? No, you don't.
If you're not in a vacuum, a perfect vacuum, how does your model work in its conception?
Well, the globe model does not require any perfect vacuum. In fact, we require there not to be a perfect vacuum for a lot of the engineering we do in low Earth orbit, which is something that I work on. So if you have an object in orbit, let's say like the ISS, it routinely has to get pushed up higher and higher. So the International Space Station is not just a station, It's a spaceship. It has thrusters. It has to keep pushing itself up because there's a little bit of drag. And over the course of a year, it starts getting closer and closer to Earth. So things like that, you actually do have to take into account. Like even in the vacuum of space, the small amount of atmosphere that's left, you have to sort of take into account.
Okay, so there's no perfect vacuum, but I mean, in order for light to travel, like you say.
Oh my gosh! So this is typical flat earther, right? He doesn't want to touch the topic, and so it's this constant diverging away from the topic. Right now, he's going to talk about light passing through a vacuum. That wasn't the topic. We're 3 steps removed from the topic.
It does in space. Wouldn't you need a vacuum chamber to get it to travel the billions of light years that it actually goes to get to us without any impedance from anything? And you don't never have an actual location for anything in the astrological model of the Earth. So your predictions when it comes to
the astrological model, that's the one.
Stuff like that would actually require that, wouldn't it?
So there's a couple things in space. So there are objects in space that emit light very brightly or over a large area. So emission nebula are a good example of this. So I don't know if you've seen these pictures of, so emission nebula is gas in space, usually hydrogen gas. We know it's hydrogen because of spectroscopy. And you can
But Kate, was it in a container?
See through it. And it's also emitting its own light. So the light from stars excite the ions in the gas, and we can see through the gas, and we can see the stars behind it and in front of it. And the big problem in space, seeing things, is dust and stuff, and it is a problem. So when you look at the night sky, you're actually seeing a very small portion of the Milky Way. If most of the Milky Way is actually obscured, like you said, like that was really smart. You caught on to this. Yeah. There's dust and stuff in.
You're being so nice, Kate.
Space, so we can actually only see like a small bit of the Milky Way. And what we see in the night sky is, up to a few thousand light years if it's like a really bright star. If it's a dim star, most stars you just can't see, even if they're not obstructed by a bunch of dust and stuff. So. Yeah, good point.
I'm thinking about like the sun 93 million miles away. How would it get its light so perfect every day in the same spot if there were this phenomenon?
It's not in the same spot, Roger. It's in a different spot every day. Keiko 44, I'm literally having to stick a fork in my leg to get through this. And also before this is fork. This is so painful. Ban me from your channel, Mike. Oh my goodness. Raspberry says Sean Carroll invented dark matter to sell books. And Harnold said, it's done. I DM the MP4 files and a YT link. Oh, what thing was he DMing to me, you might wonder? You will find out. You will find out. All right. Roger is unaware that the sun isn't in the same spot every day. News to him.
Phenomena happening in space.
Oh, the sun is so bright. Even on a cloudy day, it still gets through the clouds.
Kate, I love that you told him that. I don't know if he's aware of that. He probably isn't.
Let alone through the near vacuum of space. I mean,
this is kind of where I wasn't trying to go with my debate. I'm debating the Earth and its supposed shape, but flat is not a shape. And you're coming up with good ideas.
Oh, but flat is a shape. It certainly is.
And it's really hard to prove a lot of this stuff with any evidence. It's a lot of speculation too. I appreciate.
Oh no, it's not speculation, Roger. People that know what they're talking about, not you, have figured it out.
The modern effort. I mean, before that, kids weren't taught the same thing as they are now. And I understand the fields that you're going into and what you're trying to do. I appreciate you coming on, but I don't know if there's a lot of proof you have to. I've argued with people in your field before, and I've never got some straight answers on a couple of things, and I doubt you're going to have them too.
Yeah, it's because you don't understand the topic, Roger. When you ask a question for which the answer is 8th grade level, and you can't handle 5th grade, you're not going to understand it.
I don't want to take up the whole debate, but it was a pleasure talking to you. And
yeah, I appreciate your input. It was excellent. You were well read, and I'm glad you're worried about your students and their future career in consensus science.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, no problem. Thank you, Astro Skate. I appreciate you. All right, anybody else in the back here? Let's see.
You got anything for us, Chewy?
Let's try FE skill. Hey, dude, if you can show yourself, I'll let you on.
Yeah,
if not, anybody else wants to come in?
Post the link again real quick.
Yeah, I'll grab it. I thought I put it in. I got Ryan.
Who's that guy? He wants to debate.
Get him out of here. Well, we went to Narnia there. You enjoy that one?
Look at that. He's got all these people helping him pass water.
That wasn't the real Cookie Monster. Get him out! Get him out! It's fake.
He's a clone. So, solar systems. Oh, stars, billions and trillions of light years away. I'm sure Mikey got a kick out of that one.
Can we, I'm not moderating the chat and I'm not watching it super close, but if people aren't doing anything crazy, can we not just like ban?
That wasn't the right Chewbacca. Oh. Hold on. Let me go back to this one.
And everybody, if they are, I understand, but
Yeah, I
outside of
gotcha.
that, no, I'm just talking about all the mods.
I gotcha. Okay, so what I'm looking at a whole bunch of people, but only got one back here, and he won't show himself. So
he's looking at a whole bunch of people, but only has one back here, and he won't show himself. What the hell even is that?
You can let him back in now. I was trying to make a point.
Oh no, it's not him. I got a new guy waiting in the back. He won't show himself on screen. So
The last two that I banned, the last two that I kicked, one of them was harassing Mikey, and the other one was harassing somebody else.
Well, that's understandable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's understandable.
So they're super band happy here.
Anybody else want to join? Anybody got some more glow proof they want to present?
Then you're wasting your time.
How many people do we have in so far? We had 1, 2, 3.
Very good, Roger. You counted to 3. Aw, so good. You're proud of yourself.
Brenda, Craig, Astro. That was it, right?
Astronomy Live wants to come in. Danny Faulkner's pet kid.
So Astronomy Live is now Danny Faulkner's pet kid. I don't know if Astronomy Live and Danny Faulkner have ever spoken. Maybe they have. But why is he saying that there is that Astronomy Live is Danny Faulkner's kid? In case you don't know, Danny Faulkner is a PhD astronomer that taught at university and is now working for Answers in Genesis, an organization that takes that the Earth is young, and I don't agree with them at all. But I like Danny Faulkner. We get along. He's pretty smart. He's taught me a lot of things. Astronomy Live is a PhD not in astronomy who does like to do a lot of active astronomy things. And so there's certainly an overlap in their fields, but to my knowledge, they don't do anything much together. I don't know why. Why is he so confused about that?
No.
Well, I don't know him, but I know who he is.
All right.
Let's see if he shows himself, though. Yeah, can you show yourself, Astronomy Live?
Drunk Debunk says he's doing laundry, otherwise he'd be in.
Okay, so now you can see here in the chat, Mr. Toon. Toon Time from Moxie. Right? I had just commented. Will we see if we scroll back my comment? I don't see my comment. Why don't I see my comment? Where is my comment? What happened to it? My comment is missing. People saw it. People responded to me, but no sight, nothing in sight.
Oh, okay. That's right. Like you have a camera, right?
What
If you
about
don't
my
have a
team?
camera.
I saw you there a second ago.
Oh, you want to show my ugly face? Oh, that's Cookie Monster saying that.
No, I didn't come into the Zoom call yet, or the whatever restream. I think I commented in the YouTube live chat.
Yeah, here, I'll show you my ugly face. Hold on, just for
Max, can you post the link? Max says.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to come on the show, if you can't show your face, then, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Post the link real quick, Roger.
I've had people come in and drop bombs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want one of those.
Max has said he wants to come on.
Okay, Max, the same Max I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Unless you don't want him on.
Is he going to come in and accuse me of saying he's a hacker?
I don't know.
Anybody that's going to sit there and change somebody's email address to make it look like that they didn't get an email because they changed their address, that's really what happened. I don't.
Look at this, Ryan. Stop harassing my chat or I'll ban you too. He's a little ban happy there.
The only reason that came to mind to say hacker was
Not listing my camera to be able to show my face. How is that? It does it
dude,
for
all
all.
you got to do is enable it, dude. It's not hard.
Just click the button.
Everybody here will show their face except this Lord.
That's the.
Wait. In the life, all caps says warm air is thicker. It's actually not. Cold air is thicker if you're gonna, right? Thicker isn't really quite the word that you'd usually use. The word you'd want to use there is maybe more dense or denser. But I get what you mean. I think thicker probably is what you're meaning there. But a cold air is. So, is in the life a flatty? What's going on?
The truth.
He doesn't have a camera to work worth the shit anyways.
This laptop hardly works.
I don't know. What do you think? Just do it real quick. See what happens. Talk.
You mean you want to put them in?
Yeah, just put them in. Say something real quick. If they do anything crazy, see ya.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pop you in and pop you out, dude. Hello, Astronomy Live.
That should be
He
enough.
came in to yell at me, probably.
You gonna say something?
Dude, you can
Otherwise,
talk.
forget about it.
Yeah, because
Can you on?
Hello.
Say something. There you go.
We can hear you.
well, I didn't kick him. I blocked his comments. Whatever you call it.
I got you.
Block my partner. All right, go. Turn your thing on.
Yeah, you're a little low.
Well, I'll get closer to my mic, but I think
There you
it's
go.
all the way up.
All right.
There you go.
better.
You're good.
There you
Much better. And he's on camera too. Look at there.
Hey,
I think I've seen him before.
I didn't even click anything. It just turned itself on. I don't know what's
There you
going
go.
on there.
It's fine.
It's the AI.
Tell me when you're ready. I'll give you 10 minutes.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
first of all, I'd like to know why my comments were getting blocked in the chat. And the live
We'll
stream.
have to ask you.
A great question. They do not like to have people in the chat speak freely.
Whoever did that.
This
Why did
little
you do
mod
that,
tried
Cookie
to get
Monster?
it.
Because you're harassing him. That's why.
Oh, you're harassing, and it hurt Cookie Monster in the feels.
How am I harassing?
Read your comments out loud and then tell me they're not harassing.
Okay. Let's see.
Go on then. Read them.
Hold on, I'm pulling it back up. Okay, it's run off the screen now, but they were not harassing. There were no insults. I didn't insult.
So, unfortunately, when you block them during the live stream, during the playback, you don't get to see them at all.
Anyone. I simply was providing.
If you want me to, but
Yeah, unblock me. I wasn't providing any insults. I was only providing evidence. So how is that harassing?
make a comment and I'll unlock it. But you were harassing. You were making comments.
No, I wasn't harassing anyone.
I'm going to ask you one question. Were you directing your comments at Mikey Smith by chance?
Of course.
Nothing wrong with doing that.
No, why would you do that? This is Mikey's
But is
channel.
Mikey even in here? Is he even debating anybody? So why would you even need to make comments?
Wow. Apparently, when you are talking to people in the live chat, you can't talk to people in the live chat. You can only talk to people that are on the stage. That's the only people that you're allowed to interact with when you're in the live chat, according to these people. They are mentally ill.
Mikey was trying to present his evidence. I was presenting mine.
Okay.
He linked to his video. It's only fair I get to link to mine.
That's a fair shot. I don't have a problem with that at all. People can be a judge for themselves.
So you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right, 10 minutes, go.
All right. So one of the strongest evidences I have for Earth being a globe is the prediction of total solar eclipse paths. Flat Earth is absolutely unable to predict where a total solar eclipse will be visible from. It can only, at best, estimate the approximate timing, but it cannot tell you the precise path you need to stand within in order to see the moon completely cover the sun during a total solar eclipse. In 2017 and 2024, I personally...
Look at this. Ryan is... How is this person able to breathe? A prediction is your evidence? Really, dude? No, the prediction is not the evidence. A prediction is a necessary part of an experiment. Hypothesis, prediction, observation. Compared to the prediction, right? That whole thing there together is evidence. The prediction is part of it.
Predicted the path of the eclipse, and I went out and stood in the paths of those two eclipses. I observed the 2017 eclipse from Casper, Wyoming, and I observed the 2024 eclipse from Maine. So in both cases, my own personal calculations using the globe accurately predicted the path of the total solar eclipse and allowed me to observe totality.
So it's William McLean says post-doctions. He means post-dictions. No, it's a prediction. He did this before the eclipse. And then he went to the location that his prediction said the eclipse would be seen. And he saw the eclipse.
With my telescope. In order to do that, I calculated where the moon's shadow would land on the Earth from a selenocentric perspective. In other words, treating the moon as the center of the universe. That doesn't mean that I actually believe that the moon is the center of the universe, of course, but it was a convenient reference frame to use when calculating where the moon's shadow.
And here you go, William McLean, not prediction, those opposed fictions. They are patterns that have repeated for thousands of years. In fact, that's not the case at all. The path of totality of eclipses doesn't repeat. There's no repetition in the path. There are similarities between paths of eclipses that are in the same cycle. They do have some similarities, but they're not the same place. He's just making up reality.
Would land on Earth's surface. But from that point on, I had to find where it actually intersected the surface of a spherical Earth. And for my purposes, I did treat the Earth as a sphere for simplicity. More accurate methods may use the oblateness of the Earth, but it's relatively minor and can be disregarded for most purposes. And for that, I was able to get within a couple of miles of the exact center of totality, and I was able to see totality from Lake Parlin in Maine, most recently in 2024. Now, other people like Shane have claimed that Flat Earth can predict total solar eclipses using Besselian elements, but the Besselian method uses a spherical Earth. Shane doesn't know how to use Besselian elements to predict the path of a total solar eclipse. All he can do is predict the X and Y coordinates on a fundamental plane that bisects the sphere of the Earth. But he does not know how to actually tell you the latitude and longitude you need to stand on in order to see the total solar eclipse. And in fact, he's simply using a table of Besselian elements that has been previously published. When I challenged him to predict the eclipse of October 9th, 3001, which I personally knew about because I know how to predict total solar eclipses, he not only blocked me on Twitter, he actually removed my reply, censoring me, much like I was censored in the chat here just a few minutes ago. because he knows he can't rise to that challenge. The October 9th, 3001 eclipse is one total solar eclipse past the end date of the canon of solar eclipses. He was plagiarizing to try to predict things using Besselian elements. But again, even with his plagiarism, he was unable to come up with actual maps showing the total solar eclipse, except when he took existing maps and simply reprojected them onto an AE map. Reprojecting the results of a globe prediction does not make it a flat Earth prediction. It's still a globe under the hood of the car driving it down the street. Just as in my spreadsheet, I'm using the globe and figuring out where the moon shadow is going to intersect the globe. Besselian elements likewise require you to not only find the X and Y coordinates of where the shadow lands on the fundamental plane, bisecting the globe of the Earth in half, but then that is only the first half of the process. You then need to find where it intersects the curved surface of the sphere of the Earth facing the moon and the sun during that time.
Roger is so lost.
And that is a step that Shane never showed nor knows how to do, because he was trying to plagiarize a website that showed how to do it, but only the first half of the process had been documented so far on the website that he copied to his website. I actually have books on solar eclipse paths and how to calculate them, including how to calculate them with Besselian elements. And so I showed this in a video that was on Red's Rhetoric's channel. But the methodology I used in 2017 and 2024 was not based on Besselian elements. It was based on simply knowing the orbital elements of the moon and the Earth around the sun, and doing my own math and figuring out for myself where the total solar eclipse should occur based on where the moon's shadow would land on Earth's surface. So that, I think, is some of the best evidence that Earth is a globe. Secondarily, and something that is personally favorite for myself simply because of my own ego, I guess, is the fact that I discovered a comet in 2016, P2016J3. And I discovered this comet using NASA's STEREO spacecraft on the opposite side of the sun before the comet could be seen from the Earth. So the very first observation made of that comet was made with NASA's STEREO-head spacecraft in 2016, and then it was later seen from the Earth. And astronomers at that point gave it the permanent number designation 414P. So if NASA spacecraft are not really in space and not really going around the sun to the other side of the solar system, then how did I discover a comet in 2016 before it could be seen from Earth, only for it to later be seen from the Earth by both professionals and amateurs alike?
That is, you cannot understate how many things that shows are completely legitimate. Let me restate that. Astronomy Live used a telescope from NASA that's on the opposite side of the sun from the Earth. Okay? From there, he had it look at a certain part of the sky. He looked at this part of the sky. He discovered something that had not been discovered before. It was a comet. Nobody had previously mentioned it before. Nobody had said anything about it. They hadn't known about it. It wasn't in the annals of astronomy. So he saw this thing using a telescope that's on the opposite side of the sun from the Earth. And then, at some point later, that same comet was then seen from the Earth when the position of the Earth made it such that it could see that comet then. Because initially you couldn't. You could not see that comet from Earth at the time that he saw it. You could only see it from the opposite side, or, certain areas, not where the Earth is. So that shows Earth is orbiting the sun, that it's very far away, that NASA put a telescope on the other side of the sun for us to use, us as humans, and that the comet moves in three-dimensional space in a way that causes it to then at some point in the future be seen from Earth. All of those things have to be true. Every single one of those things have to be true in order for you to see that comet and then later show up here. What will Roger say to that? He won't have the first clue at all.
in the images that I took, well, I didn't take NASA stereo spacecraft, took them in the images I found the comet to be in the NASA stereo images that even NASA themselves didn't know about. The Earth can be seen in the background as well. So there we see the Earth, and let me pull that up. I can share my screen, right? So let me share my screen.
Sure.
So here are my discovery images of P2016J3. It loops with a highlighting of the comet passing through the field of view of the stereohead heliospheric imager 1. And then on the right side, you see a few bright objects, one of them barely moving. That one is actually Earth in the background. Mars is also there as well. So again, these images from 2016 were from before the comet was on the same side of the solar system as us. It was on the opposite side of the sun. It was not visible from Earth yet. And later, when it would have become visible from Earth, it was seen from Earth and now has been confirmed from the ground as well. So how did I discover this comet if that spacecraft is not really there on the opposite side of the solar system at that time?
That's a good question, man. And by the way, if you weren't here earlier in debate, I wasn't going to go to the stars.
Oh, I wasn't going to go to the stars because he can't address them. He can't touch the topic. It's way beyond his fifth grade, actually not his non-fifth grade level of understanding. But why was Roger not going to go there? Roger gave an open invitation to anybody to come and present evidence for the Earth being a globe. Why is it that stars would be off limits? That doesn't make any sense. Not at all. All right, let me read a couple things here. We got Harnold says it's done. I got that. Okay, I'm going to play it in a second here. We got, hold on. Let me reload this. All right. Here we go. We got Philip Burita says, cats have too many gadgets nowadays. I borrowed my friend's car. Oh, cars have too many gadgets nowadays. I borrowed my friend's car, and when I tried to put it in reverse, it just played a video game of a guy getting ran over. I didn't know that was coming. Raspberry said Sean Carroll invented dark matter to sell books. Yes. Got those from Kango 44. Astro Kate says I have successfully become the bane of flirfs. Indeed you have, Kate. Clems says, we need you to debate those people. Well, I do. I come in later. I don't think I'm going to get to it tonight, but I am going to be helping with the critical think stream this weekend at some point. I will finish covering this and specifically about my part in it. The Gig Boss Man says no flurf brain under a microscope can be found. Yep. The Sun Express says funny observation about the flurfs who adhere to the Pac-Man Flurfistan map. Note what it applies about the 24-hour sun in Antarctica requires two separate suns doing things in two different locations. Of course it does. Nothing works on that map. It's much worse than the dirt pizza. Kango 44 says Astronomy Live discovered a comet. These flurfs can't even find their own Uranus. Very, very good. Okay, I need to get more beverage, and so let me just play for you. Oh, let me get it. Where'd it go? There it is. From Harnold. Are you here, Harnold? Dick Wayne just asked, why doesn't warm air fall down? Is this guy mentally disabled? Yes, he is. He is mentally disabled. The reason why warm air doesn't fall down is because cold air gets pulled down with more force than warm air. Because there's more matter in it. And so if you apply the universal law of gravitation, there's more matter in cold air than warm air. So if you got an area of cold air and an area of warm air, and this happens in weather patterns all the time, you've got some warm air here, and then the cold air comes in from the side, and the warm air says, oh, well, one of us has to move. We can't both be here at the same time. So either the cold air is going to say, oh, well, I'll just go over you, or the cold air is going to go, I'll go under you. Right? Well, since the cold air gets pulled down with more force than the warm air winds up going up. And the warm air also tends to have more moisture in it because the warm air can hold more moisture. And then when the pressure gets lower as it gets higher, that warm air, the moisture in the warm air condenses into very, very small droplets. And we call those collections of very small droplets clouds. Anyway, I'm going to play for you while I go get a beverage. This song by Harnold. It is quite amazing. I'm going to get back as soon as I can so I can see it. It's a whole music video. This is from Harnold. This is the world premiere of No More Gonna Be by Fakatzoid.
So I'm being blunt. I'm going to move on with my life. My channel is no more going to be Flat Earth at all. Nothing whatsoever.
My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. Nothing whatsoever. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. Definitely not next week. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. I have never told a lie. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. You can believe me, cause I always tell the truth. Only toxic, stupid globers lie, that's the proof. They don't understand the method, no, they stall. Me and PJ cranking content, we answer the call. Nice! Blessings to you. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. Nothing whatsoever. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. Okay, maybe just a little bit. My channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all.
I love that. Oh my gosh. PJ played the plastic drums. Ginger Ogre Lives Matter. PJ is the star of that one. Harnold, you have done an amazing job. I love it. It's so good. It's so good. And yes, it is. His channel is no more gonna be Flat Earth at all. And yes. And what does he do? He still talks about flat Earth. Oh, so precious. Okay, we're gonna finish this section here with Astronomy Live, and then I'm gonna wrap it for the night. And I'll pick up when I'm doing the live stream this weekend for Critical Think.
I don't have answers for these questions myself.
Oh, what? Well, wave that white flag then, huh?
And I can't verify any of this work for myself.
Well, he could rent time on the telescope just like Astronomy Live did. He could look up historical information on that comet and whether it had been seen before. But there's ways that he could actually, verify these things. You really could. But, well, I guess he couldn't. He's not smart enough.
And if you had been here earlier, you would have got that in the debate. So,
Did he drop off or is he still there?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry, I was just waiting to see if there was anything else.
All right, so of course, Dick Wayne in the chat here. Dick Wayne says, people just parrot stuff. Well, just a second. So this wasn't parroting. He found something that had never been found before. It's brand new. That's not parroting. That's the opposite of parroting. So maybe, Dick Wayne, can you provide an explanation for how he saw something that was not at the time visible from the Earth?
No. Let me take this off the screen.
Okay.
All right.
Take this off the screen. He doesn't want the flat Earth destruction being on screen.
Yeah. No, I mean, fair enough. I will say, like I said before, that amateurs and professionals did confirm this comet exists. I can link to the Minor Planet Center website that shows the observations of the comet. I'll just drop it in the private chat here.
Okay.
So you guys can see the link. So there's the Minor Planet Center website link. The first list of observations are all from Stereo Head, of course, in 2016 when I discovered it. But then later observations come in, and those observatories you see listed there, some of them are amateurs, some of them are professional. iTelescope, for example, these are amateur telescopes that you can rent time on, so you don't even have to own the telescope. You can rent time on the telescope and go point the telescope wherever you want. And
oh, you don't care what is going on in the sky. Okay, so the things in the sky, Dick Wayne, that completely are impossible on flat Earth, you don't care about because they're completely impossible on flat Earth, so you select not to talk about them because they destroy flat Earth. I get it. Wave that white flag.
And so some amateurs have done that, and they've actually observed my comet at various points since its discovery. So people are able to go out there and confirm these things for themselves. I'll give you guys a taste of something I'm working on right now. So I'm working on a video right now.
Real quick, you got 2 minutes left just to give you a heads up.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
So I will shamelessly plug my channel for a moment and just say the next video I've got coming is about my observations, not only of parallax of a nearby star, but actually in those parallax images is evidence of Earth's orbital motion aside from the parallax itself. So you guys know about stellar aberration, I'm sure, but do you know what happens when you look directly towards or directly away from Earth's direction of travel or in that vicinity? So stellar aberration, for those who don't know, involves
oh my gosh, you're so far over their heads. This is great Astronomy Live.
Shifting parent positions of the stars, predominantly directly opposite the sun, and that's where it's the magnitude of the effect tends to be the strongest. But if you look directly towards Earth's direction of travel or directly away from Earth's direction of travel, at those two spots, and precisely at those two spots, there's actually zero stellar aberration. But if you look at all the stars around those spots, do you know what you see?
Please tell us.
Okay, so if you look directly towards Earth's direction of travel, due to relativistic effects, because we're traveling about 30 kilometers per second, all the stars appear to constrict towards the center of the field of view. It makes it seem like your telescope is suddenly gaining a wider field of view, even with nothing mechanically altered on the telescope. And if you look directly away from Earth's direction of travel, the stars appear to expand outwards like this. So it appears that you're zooming in without altering anything on the telescope. So again, these are things that we predict based on the velocity of the Earth. And when I've observed this, I found out it's actually true. So I'll be documenting that in an upcoming video very shortly on my channel.
That's good. And just, I want to point out, you did say there is a plane of reference for all your observations. Am I not right? Saying
because he used the word plane, therefore Earth flat. That's how dumb Roger is. This is literally how stupid flat earthers are. Because he used geometry, and one of the parts of geometry that he used is a plane, therefore Earth flat. That's how retarded. Now, I mean, seriously, like, that is mentally handicapped level of brain damage to think that.
So there's different frames of reference depending on how you're doing the math. You're going to have a coordinate system. You're going to have an origin of that coordinate system somewhere. In the case of...
Oh my gosh, you're way beyond him already.
Predicting the total solar eclipse, for example, I elected to use a selenocentric reference frame at times, and that was to determine and predict where the moon's shadow would land on the surface of the Earth. That's where the math made the most sense to me, so that's how I did it. But it's just a mathematical convenience, not a strict requirement. You could do it from a geocentric perspective. You could do it from a heliocentric perspective. It just depends on how you want to do the math.
Okay, I get you.
No, you didn't get him. Way over your head.
I don't have a real rebuttal for this. Matter of fact, I kind of made it clear that I wasn't going to go to astronomy when I did this debate at the beginning. If you would have been here, but
again, why is astronomy off limits when you said bring your evidence?
I would have looked into your stellar aberrations and the effects that it would cause from our velocity to the opposite side of our motion. That's what you were talking about, basically.
Yeah. You'll see, so the video is not up yet, but I'm literally working. I've been working on it today, yesterday, over the weekend. So once it's completed, I'll have it up on my channel, and there will be a version of it on Red's Rhetoric's channel as well. So go check it out when it's done.
I get what you're saying, but thanks for your input. It was very well constructed, put together. I don't have a problem with it at all. It's just I would like to look into it myself.
All right,
where I would give you a rebuttal. You know,
he's not.
That's a lot to put in there.
He won't look into it.
I know what Shane's doing. And do you have anything to say about any of the rest of their observations that they're pulling up?
Well, I do want to get into it with them about the celestial theodolite stuff they've been doing more recently, but I've been I warned Shane about this. So I had a debate with Alan. Well, I didn't warn Shane. Shane's got me blocked. He still has me blocked. I would love for him to unblock me so we can actually have a discussion. That's my message to Shane.
Shane likes to block people. You know, flat earthers are so scared of the truth, you know. Truth doesn't fear investigation. That's why flat earthers have to block so many people.
To Alan, I did have a debate with him on Red's channel a couple months ago, just before the summer got underway. And I did warn him, like, I was going to be starting up a contract, doing some launch filming for a company to test their sensor.
This is interesting. In the chat here, everybody's rebuttal to it is to dismiss looking at things in the sky. Right? Let's see what we've got here. Where? Oh, yeah. William McLean, lying, says the globe idol Einstein says it can never be observed or measured optically. Not correct at all. Aberration was, in fact, one of the things that Einstein specifically mentioned as a way to identify that the Earth is moving. The other is the shift in color of stars, depending on their location and our movement around the sun. So similar, Astronomy Live said that the stars that have zero stellar aberration, the ones that we're moving toward or away from, right? Those same stars are the ones that have the maximal shift in color. As we're moving toward those stars, they shift in color one direction, and the ones that we're moving away 360 degrees from there, those stars have a shift in color the other direction. So those are the two things that Einstein mentioned that to identify that we are orbiting the sun. But we're looking for them. Let's see. Narnia sky watching while the ground is still flat. Weird how this keeps coming up with Astros. Now, Lowry said that, but notice in the chat is Mikey Smith. Mikey Smith, who I'm not seeing any of his comments here immediately. Mikey Smith is always looking at things in the sky as his attempt to prove flat Earth. So you should certainly be getting on Mikey's cases as well. But no, the third law of flat Earth is the double standard. Whatever they like, they accept, and whatever they don't like, they reject. So Marcus Leach says, I'm working on a paper that does the same thing but uses radio rather than optical astronomy. Hey, that's pretty cool. Orbital wants me to play the Flatzoid video again. I will leave that for Harnold. This was the premiere. I will let Harnold choose to put it live on his channel. You can go watch it there. And because I've got a Roger Ledwell song for the outro.
And I have been doing that over the summer, so I've not had as much time to prep for debates and that kind of thing lately. I just did all this off the cuff tonight, but in the future, I would like to engage with Alan about celestial theodolite. I know Jesse Kowalski's been doing a lot of stuff on that, and I've been watching from afar, but I haven't had as much time as I would like to get into it. Mainly, I've been
muted. Hold on, dude. That's me. No?
Huh? Can you hear me?
Hold on. My speakers went
Yeah.
out for some reason, but they're on. They're on. Strange.
There you
Hold on,
you're
give me a second.
echoing, unless that's discording.
Yeah, that's probably my echo.
All right.
Good morning, Butch Convoy.
You there?
Okay, I should be able to hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, we do. I shouldn't echo. Also, I shouldn't echo. My mic has echo removal and everything. I don't know what's going on.
Use earbuds. How hard is this, people? They're $10. You can buy them for $5. You can get them for free.
It's all right now.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So I would love to see Alan and you your debate. You said you debated him on his channel or on Red Rhetorics? You're on Red.
Red's came, he came over to Red's channel, and Red's was the moderator. We had the debate. I thought it was well moderated. So again, like eventually I would like to get into it about celestial theodolite stuff, but I've been very busy with the contract.
Ooh, Chicago Cubby Bear says, got you, McToon. Just a second. So I was saying that I was coming into chat. Because I wanted them to know. But you'll notice my comment isn't there. I wonder why. Why is my comment not being shown? Makes no sense.
And what time I've had for myself, I've been doing parallax observations of Barnard's star and doing some, like I said, some stellar aberration stuff, which, not to brag too much, but I honestly don't think any other amateur astronomer's ever shown what I'm about to show. Professionally, yes, like Hubble Space Telescope images very well documented, have very well documented this effect, but I don't think an amateur has ever shown this particular aspect of aberration before. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm very excited about it.
Okay. Well, more power to you, man. Thank you for coming on. I want to go to Max next, if I could.
Max, McToon says he's waiting too. So
yeah, I see him. Yeah, he's down there. So I appreciate it. I'll watch the Red Rhetorics debate between you and him. I'll go over to his channel. I want to see that. It'd be nice.
All right. Have a good weekend. Thanks, guys.
You too. No problem.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, did the video stopped? It had stopped anyway. You didn't see anything. Anyway, there you go. There was everything with his sidekick Chewbacca. There we go. So Max is next. So we got Max, and then me, and then Luca came after. So I've watched all of it except for Luca so far. But I will this weekend sometime while I'm helping with the DP Debunks organized stream. benefiting Critical Think, who was my roommate on the trip in Antarctica. A decent guy that allowed me to snore in his room with him. The Sun Express says soaring birds require thermals for long endurance flights. Literally warm air rising. Physics, chemistry, and biology in harmony. Yep, pretty cool. Christian Hoge says, I think I missed it, but is there a timestamp for when Roger Ledwell presents positive flat Earth evidence? And you did not miss it. He did not present it. In fact, the other thing he also didn't present is how any of the things that everybody brought up here could be possible on flat Earth. None of that was provided either. So, a Raspberry says, well, that was stupid. Indeed it was. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up here. Now, remember, Roger Ledwell, he called me up about, 6 weeks before the trip to Antarctica. He came on the show. He said he will definitely be going to Antarctica. Definitely. I'm like, okay, great. I hope you make it. Turns out he didn't. He had all of a couple $100 raised. Part of the reason why he had so little money raised is because the name of the GoFundMe did not include the word Antarctica in it. It was vague, poorly worded, ridiculous nonsense. And it was only for like $3,000. And the trip is $32,000 minimum. So none of it made sense. And he expected that Will would be the one to promote his GoFundMe. That Will needed to put it on his website. So if you haven't gotten this yet, one of Roger's things that he can't do is communicate well. He can't figure out how to talk to somebody to get something done. Roger, if you want to have Will put your GoFundMe on his website, number one, have your GoFundMe say, this is raising money for the trip to Antarctica to go at this date with these people, so that people looking at it can see what's going on, can know the context and know, oh yeah, this is the one that I should donate to. But it was completely vague. Nobody knew what was going to be donated to. And then what you do is you email that link to Will. Did you do that? I don't know. I'm guessing you didn't. So, Mark Van Wisco says, will you be on DP's stream this weekend? I plan to, yes. And I'll review the rest of this debate here. So, Scotty Orange is glad to be added as a moderator. I'm a physicist, but I'm also not the greatest understanding of what to do as a moderator. Mostly what you get to do as a moderator is have a wrench. The flat earthers that are in the chat here that show up, they are welcome to come here, and I want them to participate, and I do not want them to be blocked for the most part. If they go there, is what I say, then typically what people should do is get a screenshot of it, and if you need to delete the comment or time them out, or in the really bad circumstances, block them from the channel. But typically, I don't think you need to do that. Very few times is that necessary. Typically, if somebody needs to be blocked, like they're going there, then I'll just say it and then let people do it. So, yeah, for the most part, you don't need to do that. So. Dick Wayne, you people need to step up the science McFool leaves behind. Is Sirius gas or rock or water or ice? Well, Sirius is a star, and stars are primarily plasma. I hope that helps. This is stuff that's covered in probably pretty well in middle school. So I can understand why that might be a challenge for you, Dick Wayne. So anyway, there we go. Glad we could, uncover that mystery for you. Anyway, people, thank you very much. This is a video called Roger Ledwell's Excellent Adventure by Conspiracy Music Studios. I hope you enjoy it.
Yo, 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 it's Roger, man. Packing my bags for the frozen land. Got a fundraiser, keep it tight. Gonna prove the earth tonight. The final test is near. Flatsoids watching, have no fear. He's heading down. He's on his way. A live stream rolling night and day. Marching straight to the South Pole sign, or straight to the dome, it's all divine. Roger swears he'll show the score, keeping it honest across the board. Roger's heading for Antarctic ice, gonna walk to the wall, won't think twice. Gonna stream the sun as it fades away, be the hero of flat earth today. Roger Ledwell, the flair so bold, keeping it honest across the board. They call him clueless, toothless too. Say he just repeats the crew. Follows flats step by step. Never had a thought himself, but now's your chance. It's do or die. Prove it flat, go touch the sky. Roger's heading for Antarctic ice. Gonna walk to the wall, won't think twice. Gonna stream the sun as it fades away, be the hero of flat earth today. Roger Ledwell, the flair so bold, keeping it honest across the board. But hold up, wait, I smell a trick. The funds he raised, just a tiny bit. If truth is out there, why so cheap? Where's the cash? Where's the fleet? Flatties, send your man to fight. Expose the globe. Prove yourself right. Roger's heading for Antarctic ice. Gonna walk to the wall, won't think twice. Gonna stream the sun as it fades away. Be the hero of flat earth today. Roger Ledwell, the flair so bold, keeping it honest across the board.